everybody, and welcome to a much delayed Sunday Funday here on the Dotlet. I'm so excited to be back. This will be our first Sunday Funday of the great year of our Lord 2020. So yeah, I'm excited. We're actually kicking off. It's a little short Sunday Funday because it's just one game today, but I'm very excited for this one. This is one that I'm excited, one, to bring this game back, and two, to play this version of it because I've not yet to actually dip my fingers into the world of Capers Pirates. So for those of you that are fans of the channel, you know we ran a Capers campaign here with when was that, like a year and a half ago or something? Like a year ago? It was like
a year ago.
Yeah, wow. So we ran a little Capers play. Craig, of course, NerdBurger Craig, was part of that. And actually, if you want to check out the game yourself, oh my gosh, thank you. If you want to check that out for yourself, you can go check it out here. I believe I still have... Haha, I do. Look at that. So you can go check that out for yourself. Grab a copy. I know that Craig is currently running a Kickstarter. I'll see if I can't grab that link too. So much love today. Thank you all. All these new followers. Yeah, so for all of you at home that's never played Capers, don't worry. We're going to fill you in as we go along. That's part of Sunday Funday, is both learning and having fun and telling stories. You all are killing me. I appreciate it. Don't mind me. Oh, and finally, Twitch has approved the new emotes. So many new followers today. Thank you guys so much for this morning love. I really appreciate it. That's thanks. Yes, there they are, the full lineup. And I decided this time around to actually take a cue from all of you in the Discord as to which emotes you might like. So, by popular demand, the Pride Cake is now available. You can serve up a big old slice of Pride Cake anytime you need to in anybody's Discord or anybody's Twitch channel. And, of course, we also have the Snap Heart and some other cool ones, including Welcome. So now you can also welcome people with a big, bold red dot every time you visit another channel. Thank you guys for these new follows this morning. So let's pop right in, right? If you're new to Sunday Funday, this is just a day where we play tabletop RPGs as a community together. We have fun, we play games, we tell stories, and we laugh because laughter is contagious. And more importantly, it's kind of like medicine, and I could use a good laugh today. So let's go around. Let's meet our Scallywag crew, and we're going to start actually with Alyssa. I'm glad to see you back for Sunday Funday.
I am glad to be back. My name is Alyssa. I use she, her pronouns, and I am playing MacGyver.
I love that so much.
To know.
Awesome. Anything you want to let us know about about this MacGyver?
This MacGyver is basically, well, very similar to the original MacGyver. Except I'm proficient with sea vehicles.
And you're a pirate. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I might be a pirate.
I might on the side.
Might be a wee bit of a pirate.
I do some pirate work. I love it. Well, I'm glad to have you back. And another face.
You know, I got fired by the company that I worked for, so I had to find an alternate means of income.
Don't all pirates. I feel like that's the story of how every pirate got its start. Man, that light is bright this morning, gang. Far too bright for Sunday. All right, there we go. That's a little bit better. Moving right along to another face that we've seen around. Anart, glad to have you back.
Yeah, good to be back. And today, well, I could say my pronouns, which are the
yeah,
they,
please do.
And yeah, they, them, she, her, either or. And today I'm playing Eric. Extremely lucky captain who gets out in any situation at any time.
Just the lucky one, right? Just lucky.
And very, very so lovable.
So yeah. So lovable. I can't wait to see how lovable. Especially with today's caper that I have planned. And of course, Paladin Hulk, always good to have you back. So glad that you're here. And I'm excited. I know that you mentioned in the Discord you're a smidge nervous.
I was, yeah. Y'all have calmed me down a lot with your, lovable personality.
We
I'm
try.
Paladin Hulk. Yeah, I'm playing a character that I love dearly, which is Tackus Findlay. As you may know from some game or another. And I'm best friends with MacGyver. Because that's how this game works. I don't have any superpowers, because I don't need them. I got strong arms and some weird magic suit of armor that I somehow have. Yep.
Oh, I'm just now realizing you don't have any capers powers. Well, at least you keep good company.
Powers are for suckers.
Awesome. And Mad Fishmonger, so glad to have you back.
I'm so happy to be here.
How are you this morning?
I'm good.
I was about to say, I don't know if it's morning where you are. I guess it's morning where I am.
It is.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, good. Okay, good.
Yeah. It's just very dark and gloomy and wintry.
Oh.
Yeah, so we had to have all the lights on.
Yeah.
Wake yourself up a little bit.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
what scallywag pirate do you bring to the table today?
I am playing Nico. Nico is a, I guess, her favorite thing in the world is, basically parkour. Even though parkour hasn't really been invented yet.
Uh-huh.
But, she has a tail, so it sort of helps, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
And she's just the sort of person who has boundless energy and was kind of always getting herself in trouble, and having a tail sort of outs her as a caper. So
I'd say so.
Being in a sort of normal job, not really an option at this point.
Right.
So yeah, she's kind of always grown up, grew up on the streets and climbed buildings and whatnot, and now she found some pirates who were like, "Hey, you can do sailing things, right?" And she's like, "Yeah, I can climb that mast all the way to the top in like 3 seconds." So that's
And here you
now,
are.
I guess. I think she's one of those, people that just sort of shows up, like a stray that shows up that you keep.
Mm-hmm.
Not because you intended to, but because they just sort of don't leave.
We just took you onto the ship.
Sort of came and marked my territory.
Right.
She just sleeps in the crow's nest, She's got her little tent up there.
Well, if you're gonna be up there, you might as well work, don't you?
That's right. Might as well work. Love it. Well, this is our crew for the day. Now, we've already established, behind the scenes, so we'll establish it here, that they've been traveling together for a while. They come from various points all over this here flat land. No, I guess at this point, it's now round. The world's round. Even though some people today still don't. It's fine. And you have been traveling together probably for a good while. When you find a crew and you just click, there's no need to go out trying to find another crew. Because, making your way into a new vessel is difficult sometimes. Especially in tumultuous times like these here times of like 1560-ish. There are various ways that you take your jobs. Your vessel's not very large, but it's big enough to do small missions, hauling things, the occasional caper, though you're probably not suited for what might be considered, ship combat. But you probably have a cannon or two, maybe one on this side aboard, as well as some kind of harpoon as well, so that we know kind of what the vessel is equipped with. But you've traveled all over. You've seen the Caribbean. You've sailed up the coast of these here United States, probably where you picked up Tychus and MacGyver there. And you've seen the Great St. Augustine. But when a great job comes around, one that pays a lot of money, and one that is personally handed to you, it's hard to say no, especially when gold is scarce and your bellies might be a little growly. Eric, the last time you all docked, you were contacted. You don't get contacted very often. Via letter, by a man named... Oh, these are really good. His name is Walcott, the Salvage Soul Baron. Walcott is a deserter. He left the English army after he watched what they had done up and down both the coast there and into Ireland. And he... Maybe you've done a few missions together, maybe you served together, but Eric, you would know that when he reaches out, it's because there's a lot of money involved. His boss, I guess you could say, a woman, in fact, she pays handsomely when helped, and her name, of course, is Grace O'Malley, the infamous Grace O'Malley. And the letter simply reads, "My friend, it has been far too many suns since we have seen each other in person. I have a job. A caper, you might call it. It's a bit explosive to talk about on paper. There's no telling whose eyes are watching. Come to the coast. You know the place. O'Malley is interested in paying you personally. Your friend." And he signs it, of course, Savage Soul. Yes.
I guess we have the... I have some kind of private quarter in the captain.
Yeah, sure.
I chuck the letter in and put it in my desk.
Great.
And get out. Something like.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you head to the deck. What are the three of you up to? I mean, you guys are just out on the open sea doing your thing. It was, you did recognize there was a bird, that came in, dropping off a letter. Not unheard of. It just had to find your vessel. And it did. And of course, Eric, has, took the letter, is kind of going through it and just pops out. But what are the three of you up to?
Sleeping.
An average day on the open ocean. Tychus takes a nap. I love it.
Yeah. I think I will be sitting in the crow's nest with some small scraps of things that I am throwing from the crow's nest, trying to hit Tychus. I'm trying to hit his open mouth.
I love it.
But it's a pretty far shot, right?
Yeah.
So it's,
I mean, if you really want to hit it, you can definitely we can definitely draw for that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm really challenging myself on this.
Yeah, you got to keep your skills up.
It's a long shot.
It is a long shot. So for everybody at home, in capers, we don't draw die. We draw cards. Or we don't roll die, we draw cards. Everybody has an individual deck of cards, 52 basic playing cards. You'll see on the screen I have put a very simple diagram for you that shows you kind of the order. So ace is the highest, 2 is the lowest, and suits will be important in how some of this plays out. So right there on the screen, I gotta get, where's my roll 20? There's my roll 20. Would you like to continue?
Yeah, because so that would be an agility.
I would say agility, unless
so
you have something that's like super specific to like. I mean, I guess this could be considered ranged combat, even though you're not really you're not hurting it with anything but like bread, you said, or something like that. But I would say just a basic agility is fine.
Yeah, and that's okay. So I have 2 in agility, so I can pull 2.
So she has 2 in agility. That means she can pull up to 2 cards. So think about the way you would say play blackjack. You have you can continue to draw until you get where you want to get, but the last card that you draw is the card you must stay with. So she had 2 available. She drew a 2 to start. Not good. Drew a 4, which is what we got to go with. This is a long way. And the wind blows today pretty heavily as it pushes you towards this Irish coastline. Eric has, I'm guessing, already put the vessel like in motion that way and navigated. But
and
yeah,
it's a clubs.
Oh, it is a club.
Means that I get a botch. So I imagine that I'm throwing like maybe little pistachio shells or something.
Yes.
And one of them, I toss it, but it catches the wind and blows back into my mouth. And now I'm like trying to get it out of my.
That's right. So a club, as she said, is a botch, which means it's worse, right? One of the things I love about this game is the scaling. So, yeah, and you choke on it, but not before you probably get a couple down. But when that wind gust comes, as you change direction, Tychus, something hits you like in and near and around the forehead, but.
She's been trying for a while, so you probably have like a bunch of pistachio shells in your hair.
Pistachios.
I'm still sleeping. So.
He doesn't care. Great. MacGyver, what are you up to?
Could sleep through a gale, that one.
Yeah, right.
I'm probably just making the rounds, making sure everything's in good repair, all the knots are tight, keeping everything ship-shape.
Yep, looks good. And Eric, as you come out, you kind of see this happening. There's like pistachios falling from above you, like down. Of course, MacGyver is hard at work making sure that everything is ship-shape, as I guess pirates would say.
I try to sweep up those shells, but it's a losing battle.
No, there's a seagull that's like, oh, as it like swoops down and picks one up off the deck.
I just like one pistachio peanut, and
yeah. It's such a pirate. Yeah, or eat it right off the deck. I love that. All right, cool. And do you tell your crew about where your next stop is?
Yeah, there's like probably like bell, and I climb it.
God damn it all to hell! I get up, I walk over to the bell, and I stop the bell with my hand. Stop doing that!
The seagulls flutter. As the bell like goes off, they depart.
You're so huge. Okay. So mates, we have a job. All Randall contacted me, and we're going. Where was the?
You are headed to the westerly coast of Ireland, to a port known as Clue Bay.
Okay. We are heading to Clue Bay. And we have job there. At least promised job.
That's where we're going, right?
Yes. And
good.
There's a lot of
I
money.
don't want to travel all the way back.
A lot of money? A lot of money? You said a lot of money.
Yes.
I like a lot of money. I need a lot of money. Can we go? Are we going? Are we already there?
You guys probably have a few days sail, like hard sail, if you're gonna make it all the way there, but are we there yet seems appropriate.
She's already like, she turns around, climbs up into the rigging, unfurls the sails.
It's going to take a few days.
Okay, let's get there as fast as we can. Let's go.
Yeah, we ran out of booze days ago. There's no way to live.
We will pick up some rum when we get there.
Now you're talking my language. All right, let's sail this boat. Which rope do I gotta pull?
And I'll tell him.
Oh, I love this so much. This is already gonna be ridiculous. And off you all set. Let's have a roll. You know what? Let's have a draw from everybody.
All
Let's do it. Everybody's going to take a little position. This is kind of just like how the process goes for all of you. And I'm going to give us some music while I'm at it. Okay, so each of you have drawn the first card. So the real question is, what are each of you up to? Of course, MacGyver, let's see, both of you, I guess both you and Miko probably should do, it's right here in front of me. Conveyances. That's the kind of the operation of the ship. Do you have anything in conveyances? Does Eric have anything in conveyances?
I need to see.
Is that a skill that it would have been a skill you had taken? If it's not, that's fine. We can make a drive which is basically a pilot.
I guess I would have taken that instead of melee weapons.
Melee weapons? Okay. Yeah. Do you want conveyances or would you prefer drive?
Conveyances.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. So what you're gonna do is you will say, okay, conveyances, this is going to be pretty much for all three of you, agility and conveyances. Tychus, are you properly helping with rigging? Are you doing anything in particular so I can call out for you as well?
Tychus's skills aren't amazing. I can fight, I can shoot things, and I can get to the place where I need to go to fight and shoot things.
I meant sleight of hand.
Oh, okay. Okay, so
Use expertise.
yes, if you have, you definitely can use an expertise. So what they're all going to do is look at their skill. They may each have a different number in conveyances. If Tychus is not doing anything direct, just kind of helping, holding a thing, I'm going to say that he's kind of helping the party. So you won't have to be draw as high to have as high of success.
Good,
Oh, your number is in your trait, not your skill.
Your number will be in the trait. So it will be, all of this will be agility based.
Okay, my agility's 2.
Expertise with conveyances.
Is it expertise with conveyances?
Oh,
Yeah.
1.
That was why I
Oh, that's why you... Well, and so here's the thing. I would say, actually, with the operation of a ship, it could go either way. You have to call one. Yeah. It's like agility, conveyances. So if you want to do agility, take agility. If you would rather do expertise, you can take expertise, conveyances.
Okay. So
that way, the numbers may be different. Tychus, you will have 2 cards that you are able to draw then, if your total is 2. You drew a 3. You have a chance, if you want to take the gamble, and draw a second card and take that number instead. Yes, Eric.
What happens now then? Why would I want to do that?
3 is low. You're trying to get as high a card, so if you think of this kind of like blackjack, you want the highest card that you can get. Actually, let me pull this. I'm going to drop this on here for all of you, because I realize you're not staring at the... Hang on, I can do this really quick. You're not staring at the screen. You're in roll 20. I'm going to put this up here because you'll want to, right, if 2 is the lowest that you can draw, meaning that's kind of like I wouldn't say it's a fail, but you're not doing very good. With ace being the highest that you can draw, you want to try to get the highest card that you can in terms of your success rate. If you want to be successful, I guess you could say.
I'm cool with being terrible at this.
He's like, I'm cool with the 3, a solid 3. But what's also really neat about this game and that I love is the more cards that you draw out of your deck, you can start to, like if you've drawn a bunch of face cards, you know that your deck is getting really light, which means the longer you go without paying to reset your deck, the more likely you are to draw low cards. It's a literal gamble, which I think is one of the cool things about it. All right. Well, I was going to throw this out for all of you, but I don't. Wait, no. Oh, here it is. Okay, perfect. I'm going to drop this out here. Did it do it? Did not. There it goes. Okay. Where do I want to put that? Okay, I'm going to put it up there in the corner. You guys can kind of see it there. It's the same thing I put in for everybody else. But you can see ace to 2. I'm just going to put it maybe down here. Is it bright? Yeah, that's better. I have more space that way. Okay, so now you guys can kind of see it as well. Ace is high, 2 is low, and the suite's in the order. So let's go through each of these as each of you are drawn. Does anybody want to draw another card? Do you feel like your card is too low?
I feel like I don't sure how 6 falls under that, so.
So think of it like 2.
It's middling.
It's middle, yeah. So 2, it would be like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but that goes all the way up to like king and queen. So you're actually on the lower scale, like the lower half of the card deck, and the card number system. So it's.
I'm gonna try again.
Yeah, I was about to say you won't be as successful. Now we got a queen, which is very high. Ah, we got 2 queens. Very nice. Okay, so those are much higher. So what I've done as a GM is behind the scenes, I've set a number that you have to reach, or I've set a card that you need to reach in order to have success. But I don't share that with you because you have to take the gamble. Do I keep going? Yo! And another one.
I'm gonna stick with that. Yeah, I have up to 4 cards I can draw.
Uh-huh.
But I feel like a jack is sufficiently high. I think I'll be.
That is very much so, because you only have a couple more to go. So here's what I'll say. Oh, thank you, PH, for that donation towards the Scallywag star. Scallywag-ish type things will happen. I might even introduce just a Scallywag if we fill the star. So I'm looking here. You've got... We did have someone... we got a couple high suites here, too. Actually, everybody is on the... So, a heart and a diamond, just looking at it, don't have anything extra. But that club does. So, this was a success, which means it's with a boon. So, the way it works with a boon is you kind of get a little extra something, to top it off. So, right? Did I get that right? Yeah.
Oh, it's a spade.
Oh, it is a spade. You're right. I was like, that's not right because it's on the high end. Yeah, so a spade. So it's actually a success.
Spade is so you get this card is a success, but
with spade,
but with a drawback. So you have some kind of
with a with a boon. Yeah, I was right. Okay, yeah. Okay, I was good. So the boon makes things more difficult for the target of the trait check or provides you with some sort of benefit. Cool. So you guys do great. You've sailed together for months. Tychus helps where he can, putting hands on things, making sure barrels might be tied down. But each of you in your prospective roles are great at what you do. It's what makes you the perfect 4-man crew. Or 4 pirate crew. It's a pretty tough journey, and the closer you get to the Irish coastline or the coastline of Ireland, the colder it starts to get. The water becomes a little bitter cold, and the waves kind of rock your small boat. Nothing that you've not dealt with before, but not an easy journey by any means. And as you come up on the Irish coastline, it is a sight to behold. The rocky-edged cliffs. And Eric, you know that these waters are also currently being patrolled by a lot of the English force. It was MacGyver that pulled here with this additional boon. As you come in, the coastline is foggy, making it very difficult to see. Between the rocks, which could easily take your vessel down if you hit even just in the wrong place, and of course the fear of being found out as pirates by the English army or the English Navy could be an issue. You spot MacGyver off, I'd say maybe 300 yards or so in the fog, a small English vessel. The flags fly high, their banners saying exactly who they are and what they stand for. They sit quiet, waiting for somebody to make the wrong move.
We're just totally innocent people on a boat trip.
I have my wanted poster up, like on the boat
Yeah.
as decoration.
He puts like fresh flowers on it when we get to shore.
It's totally thrown out too. It has buck teeth and a way too big of a nose.
Oh no, you've like
Big old mustache.
Hiding
We've
behind
added-
it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and like I said, it kind of sits waiting. I would say with the boon, you don't see anybody on deck, which makes you a smidge suspicious.
I will signal to the crew and let them know what I've seen.
Yeah, I'm sure there's like
So we can.
kind of like gesture, giving them the signal. You guys, yeah, exactly, yeah, eyes on deck. And when she points it out, or when they point it out, it's very now kind of clear to all of you, this silhouette in this foggy coastline with kind of these rock cliffs behind it. Eric, having at least a friend here, because you're English?
Yeah, I'm English.
You're English. You know that English can be kind of sneaky, especially when it comes to this kind of thing. It's a little odd, in fact, that there's nobody on deck.
I will go out the side.
Mm-hmm.
And I will look into the ship and with a.
Yeah, you like break your telescope out. You post a leg. The way you do is you kind of tune in. This helps a lot. Get a much better view of the deck. There is no one that you see, not even at the helm, that's currently like piloting the vessel. You can see that it's anchored. The anchor has been dropped. It seems to be sitting there.
Look at all that sweet loot. What do you say? You want to hop over there?
It's a trap, don't you know?
I really do. It looks like a trap. It really does. But at the same time, it looks very, very tempting. So I really don't know what to do because I
Let's
want to get
bring
over
the
there.
trap.
Hey, what if I get up in their rigging? Hang on. And she's gonna try and fling her. Like, how far away are we?
You guys don't need to sail in. You're quite a ways out.
Oh,
Now
we're
you can
still-
definitely do
still
that.
quite
You can do that, but you're gonna need to get a smidge closer. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, no, we're still deciding.
Yeah.
I could, just climb over into their rigging and do that. And, well, and if anything, I can ask the ship.
Titus, you go with what is the character's name? Go with Michael with a boat.
You want her to go in a boat? All right.
So you want to keep some distance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I scurry down
Mm-hmm.
and I grab I get the little boat out into the
Yeah.
water in just record time. And she is just like, it's almost like watching a cartoon character. She's like a monkey and she's had her tail her whole life, so it's a part of her. It's just how she moves.
Right. It's like it's like I'd say it's like a cat's tail, except my cat's tail exists in a totally different dimensional space than my cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, cats are different. But yeah, like a monkey's tail, like it's like an extra limb.
Yeah, so she moves very comfortably with it, and it's very handy.
I move in the opposite way. I move very slowly, but with a lot of purpose, because I have a lot of heavy armor on. So it's just.
But you look good doing it.
That's right. And let's hope he doesn't fall overboard.
And then I hop in the boat. And by hop, I mean step, because if I actually hop in the boat, it'll break.
It'll break. Yeah. You probably there's like a line down or something. Are all of you going
I'm staying here.
Okay.
With
with the ship?
Michael. Yeah.
MacGyver, are you gonna go as well?
I was
I
thinking
think
of
the captain's
me.
just sending the two of them.
Great.
Yeah.
All right.
I row as fast as my little arms will go.
I was about to say,
I
Tychus.
look insulted.
Yeah,
like,
I was about to say,
I wanted
Tychus
to
at some
row.
point might. And you make it in record time. There's a lot of like splashing as this small kind of boat, it's literally a literal rowboat, makes its way across. Eric, you're able to see through the telescope the whole way, kind of trailing them so that you can keep an eye on them from afar. When you get close, as swarthy sea folk, you would know that based on the barnacle buildup here, this boat's been sitting here for a while. Like the way that, like the way algae and stuff grows when a boat moves, it pushes its back. This has been very stagnant.
That's odd. I don't know.
It means the booze might have gone bad.
Oh, I hope not. And she'll just scurry up the side of the boat and throw the ladder down for him.
Okay, cool. That's easy
I'll make
enough
sure to
for you.
attach the boat to the other boat, because you don't want the... Oh, wait.
Right, there's a way back. Yeah, you tie it off. And you now stand atop this vessel. It is larger than yours. It's like a proper Navy vessel. Probably holds 30 men, 40 men. Or, you know what? No, holds 40 people. And the deck looks, it's kind of deserted. There are a series of barrels that line the, upper deck, which is not unheard of. They're, kind of bound down. Captain's quarters is very obvious, right there in the front. And you can definitely see there's a flight of stairs that go down, probably to a hold and barracks. The usual. The wheel up top has been tied down. You can see it's been bound into a single location. And again, you can see even where the anchor drops off the side of the ship, the way that the barnacles and things and kind of mildew has grown up the rope, you can tell it's not been pulled up in a long time.
Is the deck also dirty? Got grime and dust and bird poo and stuff on it?
Yeah, it's not been properly cleaned by a deckhand in a long time.
Okay.
Well, I don't see anyone.
I'm gonna use my other superpower.
Oh, tell me.
Superpowers.
Tell me.
I'm gonna go up to one of the barrels.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the barrels that has a view of, that would have a good view of most of the ship, the main area, or mostly the wheel.
The wheel. Okay, yeah. Maybe that, so you can see up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I go and I sit cross-legged in front of it, and I put my hand on it, and I talk to it.
You're gonna talk to the ship?
To the barrel.
Oh, to the barrel itself. Okay.
The
Okay.
ship-
I was
the
like,
ship
this.
itself
Okay. Yeah. So just
is
this one barrel. Okay.
Yeah, the ship itself is too big. There's a limit in
Too
terms
big
of
of a personality for me to see.
too big of a personality. Yeah.
I love that. Okay. Yeah. So
So
you.
I'm gonna put my hand on the barrel, and I'm just gonna say, "Hey, how's it going? Bet you haven't seen anybody in a while, huh?"
There's a slight pregnant pause. Sometimes when you're waking an inanimate object, they've been asleep for a while. It takes some time. They don't even get a cup of coffee that says Sunday Funday on it. So you, there's kind of this moment, the kind of creaking of this ghost ship, literally. But finally, the barrel, it speaks to you in these kind of low moans and groans. And it says,
I'm the only one who hears this.
this is true. You are the only one that hears it. Though Tychus, she's now speaking to a barrel.
Yeah,
and,
she's nuts.
and there's kind of a sway in the barrels. Long time.
Do you know who it was who tied up the wheel?
Wheel abandoned. Brought back.
Brought back.
The barrel. How would a barrel understand this? Wow, the things you never planned for as a GM. How would a barrel understand its existence?
I love this.
This is so existential. Thank you all out there for that love. Okay. The barrel says, "Was not who put me on here first. Refilled me with." It has no word for what it was filled with.
Oh yeah, what is in you? And I'm imagining, the top is nailed down.
Yeah, it's nailed down. There's a cork in like a hole.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I carefully pry out the cork and I just
kind of like
get a whiff of the.
Yeah, you waft. This barrel is full of gunpowder. Though at one point it probably was full of something else. There's kind of like a vinegary type smell, so maybe like vegetable, something that was in but it has been repurposed, and there's a heavy waft of gunpowder from the inside of this.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. And she puts the plug back in, kind of pats it. And she tells,
I'm bashing on the top of one of the other barrels, trying to open it.
Tychus, no, that's gunpowder.
Really? Cool. I'll be more gingerly, but still trying to open it.
Yeah, you could probably actually pry one of the, like, if you wanted to really get into it, you would be able to pry it open.
Yeah, and I have tools. So
well, I was going to say, Tychus has personal hand tools and muscle tools, I'm guessing.
Oh, that's true.
But yeah, even if you pry back or just kind of like break part of the top of the lid off Tychus, yeah, you see it. It's not as full as you would expect. It's only about 2 or 3 inches of gunpowder at the bottom of the barrel. Yeah, at the bottom of the barrel. But this one wafts with the smell of rum. This had alcohol in it.
It's nicely scented, too.
It makes you crave just a really fine glass of rum. You can't wait to hit shore again. But yeah, and Miko, you can also see this. Like, if you pair over, you see that there's only, like, a small portion in the bottom. Yeah.
I think I have a theory. So,
Bunnies.
The barrel said that it was abandoned. It said that someone took it and refilled it. So, my theory is that somebody took the ship, took the people, took the stuff, and then they left this here, and they're gonna blow it up.
Well, let's get it all off the boat first.
Let's make just
a lot of it. You realize now that you're seeing it, the entirety of the whole front of the vessel is like, the edges are like lined with barrels. They've been all wrapped down, and the one that you spoke to, Miko, was at the top of 5 or 6 of them to the kind of right behind where the wheel is. You can only imagine you've not dropped below deck, but
this thing's been abandoned. What are the odds that whoever did this is still around?
Well, why would they fill an entire ship full of explosives if they didn't have a plan to blow it up? You know what you know what they do? They make the plan. You come back.
Not every plan comes to fruition.
Well, yes, but even so, this thing sitting here, it gets struck by lightning. It goes boom. People could get hurt.
Yeah, so we're gonna be real neighborly and just take it all.
That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm. Right? Free gunpowder. That stuff is expensive.
That's true. And yeah, we'll be saving the town.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I'll go.
Bona fide heroes.
Boy, I don't know how to be a hero, Tychus, but
I think this is it.
I'll learn from you. Okay, and I'll go check down in the bottom, and she'll just like dive into the
okay, yeah. Pull it back. You don't even take the proper stairs. You go through like the cargo drop.
Because she can just hang by her tail. So.
Yeah, you look around.
Meanwhile, I'm gonna be filling one barrel with all the gunpowder because I'm not like moving 10 barrels if I can just move one.
You know what? There's a camera cut back over to your ship, which I feel like we need to name. And we see Eric standing there, and Eric, you can see through your telescope. Tychus is now taking barrels, like unstrapping them, and pouring something from one into another one, and he does this a few times. You see this, and yeah, that's it. And you drop down, and then it cuts back. There's just this, I just imagine this funny moment, and you see this is a lot more empty. Definitely where the barracks were. Nobody's been down here in a long time. There's even a little bit of standing water where possibly the vessel's just, like, it may have rained and it's leaking and it's not been drained and various things. There is 4 barrels smack dab in the middle tied together. Just kind of identical to the ones above. And the rest of this place is empty. But what really catches your eye is the fact that the walls seem splattered with a dark kind of burgundy brown substance. It's kind of everywhere.
Hot
That's
sauce.
blood.
Yes, it is.
Hey,
it is.
Tychus, there's blood down here. Like a lot of it.
Well, we can't sell that now, can we?
No.
Looks like there was definitely a sword fight of mass in this lower level.
Is there anything remaining? Like, are there any weapons, bits and pieces of clothing?
This is a rather large, like, lower deck. I may actually have you draw for this.
Okay.
Because not everything is as it seems. Okay. So, I'm gonna say this is... Do you have a trait check for, like, investigation? Because if
I
not,
have
this is gonna be
senses.
just a flat perception.
I have senses.
Senses, that works. Yeah, senses, yes, of course. So yeah, let's do perception senses.
Okay, so that'll give me 3.
3 cards.
By the way, if you want to get rid of your cards, just click on them and press delete.
Yep, that's one way to do it.
Ooh, a new.
Man, you've drawn like a lot of 3s. At least you've cleared them out of your deck. Because yeah, an 8 of diamonds.
I can pull one more.
You could pull one more, but you had to stick with it.
Or I can spend a moxie.
Yes, you can. I was going to say, you could also spend a moxie to go back and choose your card.
So I'm gonna do that.
You could, yeah, I was about to say, that's our pile up here.
And then I'm gonna go back to the 8.
Great.
And I will stick with that.
So for everybody at home, to explain what just happened to you, you saw the draw. She passed the 8 and got a 2, which is obviously a much worse draw than the 8 was. She was able to spend a moxie point, which is kind of a currency system in Capers, which is of course originally set in the 20s, which is why it's called moxie. I was trying to think of a Yoho token or something for like pirates, but or no, it's like what did they call gold pieces? They had like a term for gold. Anyways,
Doubloon.
Doubloon. These are our doubloons. That's what I was looking for. Thank you. She used one of our doubloons to go back and be able to stick with the 8 instead of the 2. A great use of moxie, and moxie can also be earned throughout the game in various ways, and I'm sure we'll see that as we dive further in. So an 8 of diamonds, meaning there's no complication or boon, just a draw of an 8. You kind of parse around the space a little bit. There's no blankets or pillows left on these bunks, nothing like that. But as you scour around, you do find a few interesting things. First, you find some scraps of fabric that were probably cut off clothing in the combat and battle. And at the very back end, you see that there is one weapon left. They have used. It's actually kind of a rather large dagger, is actually what it is. That might be used with a rapier, so it's not like a boot dagger, it's not like a proper dagger. It's been like stabbed into the side of the vessel, as if maybe somebody wasn't strong enough to pull it out, or it got forgotten and left behind. But What is... I was about to say, there's got to be a... This would be... I was going to see if there's anything, but... Yeah, okay. Okay. Do you have humanities in any way? Any kind of political, military? Because if not, then you may not know.
No.
It's a very nice... Okay. It's a very nice weapon. Or probably was before all of the rust. From being down here for too long. But
it's shiny.
But it is shiny. But it is stuck deep into this, to the side of this vessel.
I will climb. I'll put 1 foot on the wall and 1 foot on the ground. And then I'll get both my hands and my tail around the handle of the the knife.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna like try and lever it out.
Okay. I'll take, I mean, this is obviously very much a strength check.
Yeah.
But if you have anything in, like, I would take acrobatics or athletics.
Oh, I have acrobatics.
We'll do acrobatics since you're using your tail.
Okay. 10 of hearts, not bad.
Ooh. Do you stay or do you go?
I really want this.
I really... Okay.
Oh, that's worse. Hang on, I got one more. Come on.
Oh, okay. Well, the good news is you only needed an 8 to pull it out. So you made it.
Yay!
You made it.
Yay!
You made it. So
I have my shiny thing.
yeah, there's a moment and you realize that brute force is not going to be enough. And you're like, I know how to do this. You actually get a running start, and you parkour off the wall, grab it, and almost flip backwards to yank it free. In like a, you just have to do it your own way, you know? And it plunks free, with a chunk of wood still kind of stuck at the end of it a little bit. But the dagger is yours. Along with it, like I said, there were some patches of fabric and things left around. Though what really catches your eye is there's some plaid fabric, which is not something that you see a lot of, at least not scouring the Caribbean seas.
I'll grab a few scraps of it in the hopes that somebody else who knows more than me can
identify some things.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna grab stuff, shove it in my pockets, and then
Perfect.
head back up.
By the time you get back up, I would say that Tychus has easily filled 1 barrel. That is what you will probably be able to take back on your tiny rowboat.
Look, it all fits neatly into 1 barrel. If you just squish down a little.
Mm.
And then I can close the barrel.
And then you close it up.
Perfect fit.
And you scour back down the side. On your way down, I would say, let's get, both of you actually could make a perception. This would be a perception check, and if you have any kind of sense, this is a perception sense. There's that queen you needed earlier. Nicely done.
I'm sticking with that.
Man, I really want Craig now to design a set of pirate cards, like pirate playing cards with pirate characters on them, and a jack. Both of you notice it. Maybe it was because you didn't really like piece it all together when you first came on board, but as you're scouring down the side and you can see the very thick chain and rope that connects to the anchor that's at the bottom, there's something else there. It looks like this entire vessel is booby-trapped and rigged to explode if the anchor is lifted. It's like a trigger type mechanism. If somebody were to pull the anchor and attempt to take the vessel, it would explode. So good thing.
Who needs this crummy old boat?
You like this boat.
Little.
I think you want to steal it if it wouldn't blow up.
Sure.
Well, it's
Well,
bigger.
we got this. Like, eh?
Big barrel that's now sitting between the two of you, like smack dab in the middle of this rowboat.
You know, it's making this a lot harder to row. We're taking like twice as much time to get back, but it's okay.
You should let
It's
me
worth
row.
it. It's worth it. Okay.
You hold this barrel.
Tychus has no problem as it begins to move. You do sit much lower in the water, but it's a very smooth journey back. Eric, MacGyver, you see them. Nothing strange or out of the ordinary from what you can tell, and they have brought back with them a barrel.
What's in a barrel?
Gunpowder. Filled to the brim.
That's money right there.
Hmm? Or
But
just fun.
also, that ship is rigged to explode.
Yep, you want to see some fireworks? Because there's still some left. If you raise the anchor, it goes bluey.
Maybe later.
And I pull out of the wide number of pockets. She has a lot of pockets. And pull like the dagger and the few scraps of fabric out, and they lay them out before you. There
Is
was
that
a
all
fight.
that's left?
There was okay, so I talked to a barrel when I got on the ship, and then there were some people, I guess the Navy, who had the ship, and then they got beat up, and there was a lot of blood. It was gross. And then somebody took them and the ship, and then they took everything out of the barrels, even the rum, and refilled all the barrels with gunpowder, and then put all the gunpowder back on the ship, and then rigged it up to explode. And there were no corpses, there were no people, there was nothing. There was just this stuff.
I was going to reappropriate that. So
Oh, by all means.
So Eric, the first thing I say you would know, so they are flying the British Navy flag. So it's marked as a British vessel. You would know, just based on some of your contacts here along the Irish coastline, that the piece of fabric that Miko holds in their hand is designated of the make sure I get this right. Is designated of the O'Malley clan. So the fabric that you see there, it definitely came off of a piece of O'Malley clothing. The blade, on the other hand, is 100% British military. It would be worn at the side with a British rapier. It's far too fancy for an Irish weapon.
and probably too fancy for any like wood soldier.
Yep. Yeah, this is like an officer's a side dagger.
Interesting. Let me see that dagger. 9.
Yeah, I hand it over.
This is a fitting dagger for the captain. And I don't have a right kind of dagger. I have dagger, but it's not probably the right kind.
Yeah.
So the sheath doesn't fit.
Yeah, you try. It's definitely an odd size, but even with the rust, it still holds value. It does look like the handle at one point was probably gold encrusted. It could easily be sold.
I could ask it where it came from.
You definitely could, actually. I keep forgetting that. I'm gonna.
Okay.
This is.
That's
Yeah,
powerful.
I joke with people all the time. I was like, my players love to animate like plants and animals and things that I don't plan for, so that I have to come up with all of the voices. And now I'm gonna add inanimate objects to that list of things that I have to come up with voices
Hey,
for.
I had to come up with a voice for a Fabergé egg.
That's so funny. Like, oh man. But you know what? I will say this: those moments of like when your players put you on the spot are usually my best GM moments, where I have to like really like come up with something on the spot. So, but yes, you could talk to the dagger. It may tell you more information than potentially the barrel, since it was involved in said kerfuffle in the lower section of the vessel.
All right,
Yeah.
so I'm going to do that, and I'm going to use my boost, which will make it so that everyone can hear what it says.
Oh, interesting. Okay, what does it look like when you, because it is a power, you're having to connect with this item. What does it look like?
So she likes to sit, and she'll take the knife, and I think there's sort of a faint glow in her hands, and in her eyes for a moment. And it just kind of, just a little flash. And then she sort of, it's like her eyes just refocus on the object. And it answers you psychically. So you don't really typically hear it out loud, but my boost allows me to speak out loud. It allows to make it speak out loud.
Yeah, and every time that you see it, when it speaks, the kind of glow that's around it that connects it and is allowing this to happen so that you can hear it, it kind of throbs almost. The light around it does. And this dagger speaks to you, this British dagger, and it says, "Well, who has woken me from my daggerish slumber?"
Man, the crazy is contagious.
And of course the dagger's
I'm
like,
gonna go downstairs. I'll grab the barrel and stow it in the hole.
nice, yeah.
You have a fancy voice, just like your fanciness. Okay, you are very fancy. Where did you come from?
I am an officer's dagger. I was handcrafted in Asia, technically, and then shipped over for the combat. Why are you asking such personal questions? We haven't even had tea yet.
Oh no, I don't think we have any tea.
Oh, if I find some tea, we'll have some tea. But I want to find your master, the person you belong to, because you're lost. We found you alone.
My master was... There's like a moment where the dagger has an emotional processing, and it's like, this dagger's like, oh, he had to leave me behind in the battle. It's unfortunate those filthy Irishmen came aboard and repurposed such a exquisite military vessel.
Do you hear that? Yeah, well, maybe we can help you get back to him. Do you know where they went?
Help me get back to my officer.
I don't know, maybe. Depends.
She says, well, I was technically left as bait. Are you English?
We are.
We are, says Eric, nice and boldly, in perfect pirate fashion, and she says,
yes!
she goes, wonderful, yes, I would very much like that. The filthy Irishman left me there thinking that the officer would come back for it, and the vessel as well. Are we on the vessel?
No, it's not safe.
What happened to the vessel?
It's gonna blow up.
There's like, again, a pause. What? It seems very confused. And she says, I'm feeling a bit confused at the moment. So you are or you are not the English who the trap was set for?
Oh, well, we're just sort of normal, everyday fisherman people.
A fisherman? It seems like flabbergasted.
Not the Navy at all, but, we should very much like to help the Majesty's Navy.
Well,
And, hey, how about we get you cleaned off?
oh, I would love that. I've got a barnacle stuck to my hilt. I can feel it pulling at my fine leathers.
I'll get out my tools and I'll
Scrape it away. And she kind of like a little bit of a as you kind of clean her off, and the kind of, I guess you could say, spell or magic slowly dwindles away as it becomes just a normal dagger again. And you manage to kind of pop the barnacle off. It leaves some residue, but the barnacle comes off, and you can maybe potentially treat some of the rust near the end of it. But you were able to take away that this was probably a English officer's dagger, and it was involved in whatever battle was had underneath the bottom, and the Irish left it when they set a trap, thinking that the English may come back for this vessel. Which also means you just stole gunpowder from the Irish.
Good job, everybody.
About this time, Eric, you, which is pretty normal for this coastline, you hear a kind of roll of thunder off in the distance, and a small patter of rain kind of begins to plop down on the tops of your heads. Nothing extreme to start, but it looks like bad weather may be rolling in. And these are not the coastlines you want to get caught in a storm.
Yeah. MacGyver up in there and set the sails and we'll be off.
Yeah, sure, you betcha.
And I will go to the cannon.
All right.
Quickly load and fire at the vessel.
Oh, you're gonna explode it. Okay. Awesome. This is very fun. Okay. I'll make this just a ranged combat attack. If you have ranged combat, great. This would be how that works with agility. Yeah, agility. Agility, guns would work. If you took guns, I would take that. I feel like a cannon is just an oversized gun.
Yeah.
So yeah, guns would totally work because that's firearms based.
Yeah, I have guns.
Perfect.
That's
Ooh, shiny. Jack of diamonds. Would you like to stay?
I will stay.
Great. It's not a hard shot. You're able to pull the vessel, like when you raise your anchor, you're able to pull it forward, kind of come up broadsides with it, keep the correct amount of distance. And there's the loading process. In goes the vault. You've got a brand new batch of gunpowder. You can fill it up, and you put in a new fuse into the end. With the rain, it takes you a minute to like really get the fire, but finally you spark it, and the end. You're holding it, and it shoots a massive blast. The cannonball hits the broadside of this vessel, and it doesn't take but a couple seconds before you hear one explosion, and it lights up the coastline sky. The fog and the rain, it's now this red burning ember color. There's some debris that comes falling down because it was a massive explosion. Yeah, it was a massive explosion.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys are like, whoa! As
I
there's
just got like my hood up and I'm still like
yeah, there's
gently polishing the dagger.
Like the power of the sun.
there's pieces of planks and things that are now falling out of the sky. You can hear them like plunking in the water.
I'll stop one from hitting Eric.
Just like
Yeah.
knock it out.
Yeah,
Good
I
shot,
stand
buddy.
there. Yeah, I stand there with the like in the on a cannon, and I have the fuse lens there. Looking cool.
Yeah. And it's kind of this moment where you can just watch basically the bottom half of this vessel, what's just the kind of under level burn. It adds some light to this area, and it doesn't take but a couple minutes before off on, I would say maybe a mile and a half towards the actual coastline where you're headed, you hear a ding 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 ding, and the fire that burns creates a mass silhouette. Pirate ships, well, we'll just say ships, start coming in off the coastline. They're closing in on this location.
Looks like it's a fire brigade.
You think the Irish are there? Or the Navy? Or
Now
what should we
everyone
do?
knows we're here.
I'm taking my.
Yeah, you try to look through, you look past kind of the burning vessel and off. You catch sight. This is really far. No, you catch sight of one vessel. It flies, it flies a black flag, and, the colors of the clan O'Malley.
I'm. Hoist the flags.
Quick!
Okay, and I
I was about to go. Actually, MacGyver, I'm gonna have you hoist the flag since you're probably already there, and you get them up quick. They're preset. You gotta have these, or else this you'll die in these waters. And it takes about 10 minutes or so for them to sail into you. It's 3 vessels, about the same size actually as the Navy vessel that you just destroyed. Again, larger than yours. And they circle all of you. The good news is you also fly the color black. And there's a familiar voice, Eric, that rings out, one that you know to be true. And friendly. What was his name? He was Savage Soul. Walcott Savage Soul Byron. His British Cockney voice rings out and he says, "Hey! Who goes here?"
Hey, it's me, Eric.
He goes, you see, like, kind of some hands. He's a very short, kind of stout man. His hands go up and he goes, "Oi! Why did you explode our ship?"
It was a British ship.
"But it was a trap, and you're not British."
Yeah.
Captain Eric likes to make an entrance, don't you know?
He goes, "Well, don't all pirates."
That is true.
And he's like, "Well, don't stand on ceremony for my part." And he gestures a couple things. The 2 other ships, you can see them like, aw, they were really hoping that this was a British vessel, and they were coming to get in a fight, and they all like sheathed their swords. A slew of various pirates from all over the world, and again, a ragtag crew, I guess you could say. And 2 of them turned around. Walcott's vessel stays to kind of guide you back, and he does yell down. He says, "Did you get my letter?"
I did.
He goes, "Good. I could use some rum. Do you want some rum?"
I do.
Yes.
Oh, he said, "I guess they're Irish. You want some whiskey?"
Whiskey is wine.
"Great." He says, "That's all we got." And he gestures again, and whoever's piloting this vessel turns it around, kind of loops around you, and you are able to follow them back to shore, which is good. Because part of the draw of Clue Bay is that it's not easy to access. Grace O'Malley is a smart woman, and she knows that this coastline is jagged with rocks that can gnarl the ship to pieces. And it's part of the reason why Clue Bay remains so untouched, because a lot of vessels never manage to navigate it. But you have a helping hand of somebody that comes in and out of here regularly. And following along behind this vessel, you pull in to Clue Bay. There is a large series of docks kind of built along a rocky low shoreline. You can hear the waves as they lap up upon it, and the rain begins coming down a little harder now, coming in. And finally, as all of you, unless you have business you'd like to attend to on your vessel, when you unboard, as they do as well, there's a very stout little man. He now wears around kind of his, I guess you could say his waist tied to his belt line, the O'Malley colors, which are plaid, and they match the one that you brought off board the vessel that you promptly exploded. Yeah, and he open arms. He's smelly, he has pit stains, he's probably not changed in weeks, and he's definitely not showered. His teeth are kind of mangled and gnarled from years of too much booze, smoking, and coffee. And he says, "Eric, and who are these lovely folks you're now travelling with? Last time I saw you was hopping vessel to vessel. How'd you get such a, And he actually stops on Tychus and he goes, "Big crew."
Yeah, this is my crew. This is Tychus.
Hey there.
I've kind of tucked my tail into the back of my coat, and I've got it all covered up, and I'm sort of sitting down.
Michael, and my clever.
And he says, "Well, it is a pleasure to meet you. If you were travelling with this here fine gentleman, then you have my undying hope, faith, and maybe trust, if I'm feeling saucy today." And he says, "But
Oh,
I
that's
am.
great.
he's like, I hope that you're ready to help us out. And he kind of like knocks you on the shoulder with a fist, Eric.
Yeah, that is why I came here.
It was good.
I came here for the booze.
He goes, well, we got plenty of that too, so let's not stand on ceremony. It's raining on our heads, and Lord knows I could use a dry pair of drawers. And he gestures as he kind of like pulls at his very kind of soggy pants, probably chafing, and he waddles up a gangway that is almost like a set of docks that's built like up and through this kind of rocky edge. And you can see that there is a stone... It's not, I guess it's kind of a castle, not really. It's more like a stone fortress that is probably the O'Malley base of operations, the family home, and a couple small other. Everything here is built out of stone, so that it doesn't like wash away, basically. Here along the coastline, and he says, "Right this way. I'll show you our finest drinking establishment, and then we can talk business like proper pirates." And he leads you in. It's quaint and damp. Everything here is wet. Everything. The air, tables, chairs. There's not anything that really maintains a distinct dryness. And as the rain comes in, it seems ever more damp. But you're at least not having you're not being rained on directly. And as you enter, you can see this place is already full of pirates. Of various, we'll say, of various sorts. Some of them carry weapons. Some of them, there's one guy in the corner who thumbs a piece of gold through his fingers as it disappears and reappears almost like magic. You see some gambling going off, happening off in one corner. There's, of course, a pretty lass or two that's here in eye shot to keep you company if you need it.
What about some pretty lads?
And there's some pretty lads, too.
There you go.
Yes, there are some pretty lads, too. Pretty for pirates, I guess you could say. They're all somewhat pretty, but it seems to be a pretty jaunty place. It doesn't have that air of everybody stabbing each other in the back, like maybe, say, Tortuga. And he gestures to a corner booth where you would be a little out of the way and can, like you said, talk business.
Is it currently occupied?
It is not occupied. This
Okay,
booth
good.
seems to be... Everything else is, which tells you either this is a reserved booth. Important to know. Yeah, that's probably your best get. I guess it's reserved, and it's specifically reserved for business of Grace O'Malley herself. And,
I'll just grab a chair or something. I don't think I'm going to fit in the booth.
he goes, "You're right, large lad."
Thirsty one, too.
Oh, and he kind of just, all he does is like gesture in the air. A fine lad from behind the bar, can't be more than probably 16 or 17, comes barreling over with 2 glass bottles that have definitely been recycled more than once, and sits them down with a cork on, each of them corked, and with it a few glasses. He's thanked and paid. You do not have to worry about payment. That has been
Just
handled.
grab one of the bottles, and then I'm just tuning out everything else that happens.
Yeah. And he says, "So, little British here, little British there, causing us problems, if you know what I mean. And they're getting stronger. They're raiding the coastlines, small villages, taking what they want, claiming it for the throne and all that business." He says, "We sure do come from a fine breed of stock, don't we, Eric?"
Yeah.
He obviously is joking, meaning that the English are fine, I guess. And he says, "So, the great Grace O'Malley herself is interested in, say, relieving them of some wares. Ones that might, I don't know how you say, help them gain advantage. It's come to our attention that they have taken over a small area and storage house along the southern coastline. They've cleaned it out. It's pretty heavily guarded and has a large stock of food and gunpowder. If we can clean them out, take the wares, it would put them at least a few weeks' disadvantage. Enough time where we may be able to make an attack and move them back. We need, say, a small crew, daft, brave, and maybe a little, and he kind of gestures to Tychus, handy, to sneak their way in and relieve them of these goods they don't really need.
That is our specialty here.
He says, and that's why I called on you. I knew you, Eric, you'd bring the right crew. So, before we can officially discuss payment and more business, I need to know, who are the lots of you? And he kind of looks at you through a crooked eye.
Oh, nobody important.
Mm.
Nobody at all.
All right, so this is nobody important, and you, and he
And my name is Michael, but I just grew up on the streets. I'm really nobody important.
Didn't we all, love? Didn't we all? He says, well, any you're not wanted or nothing. I'm not gonna have to worry about you. Anybody coming back round with your face on a piece of paper saying we're working with wanted criminals, because we're not criminals. We're hard-working folk of Ireland.
Exactly. Yes, I am not a criminal in any way at all. Nope.
Good answer. And he says, what about you, the quiet one? What are you scheming up over there? And he points at MacGyver.
Well, some people like to talk. I like to listen.
Sassy. I like it. I like it. So tell me, what do you make sitting here listening to all of this?
Just seems like a bunch of hard-working folk looking to maybe get back some of what was taken for them by the folks with power, you know?
That's right. Very good.
We're all in the same boat.
Aren't we, though? He kind of looks at Eric again, knowing that there's a little bit of a shared history there, leaving the British proper and coming over to, basically deserting, I guess you could say. And he says, and you drink like a fish. No wonder you're so thirsty. I bet you run out of booze real fast on that tiny vessel.
You calling me a fish?
Whoa.
You are a big fish.
Only
You calling me a fish?
I'm calling you a fish because you're a great catch, mate.
Yay.
See?
Did you need something, or...?
Oh, no, it was just, I was just trying... He kind of, realizes how much bigger you are, and he's like, I was just making light conversation, wanted to know your name, mate.
It's Tychus.
Tychus. Where are you from?
I think, what do you call it? The New World.
This is why you're such a big boy. I heard that over there, they got something in the water, and it makes all of you bigger.
Alright. Maybe. I
Says,
never stuck around in one place long enough for any of that.
Well, told tales, I guess you could say, huh? Cheers, mates! And he kind of downs a big glass and slams it on the table, and he says, now, what would you say is a fair payment for such a risky endeavor.
We are running out of room.
Oh, I see. You want something more than just gold. He kind of thinks on that for a moment. He says, interesting. You always were a hard man to bargain with. All right, okay, fine. He says, for payment, we'll make sure that you're paid, say, let's call it 200 doubloons. Just to cover our bases, and if you return with, say, all the gunpowder, without blowing it all up, which I know you like a good explosion, and you return a few more of the supplies, and bonus if you take out any of the British, we'll say you can keep the ship.
I like that.
When he kind of looks around at the crew, you do want a new ship, right?
Do we?
It's rather small, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, but I never met a ship that had its own quarters for me. Bigger ship just means having to share it with more idiots.
Once again, Tychus, your charm is unmatched.
Thanks.
And he says, would you care to speak with O'Malley yourself?
That wouldn't hurt.
He says, let me see what I can do for you. Why don't you just stay here for just a little bit, and let me see if I can't wrangle us up the pirate of the Irish seas. And he kind of scoots his very lump body out of this wooden booth, gestures again for the young lad to bring over some more booze, and leaves you for a second so that the four of you can sit together and discuss the proposition.
Question 1. Is it normal that they all dress like this? Because this looks weird.
Nah, it's fine. They're where they are.
Alright. Well, that's my questions.
I turn to McCliver, and do you have any questions?
Not really, no.
Okay. That's no questions for a bunch of pirates. All right. It's a bit. You can drink in silence. You guys can drink together. You see that the gambling that's happening in the corner gets a smidge heated. Oh my goodness. Thank you for that follow. There's a, yeah.
Michael, do you have questions about the proposition we've got?
Yes.
Oh, they wish?
Yeah.
Oh, that we're going to sneak in and steal.
About the job.
Oh yeah. So, is there anything in there we're not supposed to take?
We can take all the things we can. We get little extra if we get all gunpowder, some food, take a
We can
few.
Put
British.
everything into our pockets? Okay.
We have a job to make, and we get much spacious vessel if we do this right.
Oh, I like that. That will be good, because then it'll be more of a challenge to try and get the pistachio nuts in Tychus's mouth.
Is that where these keep coming from?
I mean, no. She sort of shoves a little paper thing full of pistachios back in her pocket.
It rustles a little bit, and
None of you have seen a real ship. Unfortunately, I was a long time ago. Thank.
So we're gonna get a great big one,
Yeah.
and then we'll be, and then
But
what?
even that pales in comparison to my old one.
But then what will we do?
Go somewhere
said-
warm, I imagine.
We sail the 7 seas
Yes,
and
I like
become-
the Caribbean.
Maybe
And
somewhere
become the great
warm. It's
pirate.
very cold and wet.
I don't like this cold. I want to go somewhere where they had all that fruit. Remember that one? And it was like big around, and it was hard, but the inside was all white. It was really good. I like that.
Yep.
Okay, let's go.
Well, it doesn't take long before he returns. Wilcott does. And you definitely know he's come back with the Pirate Queen herself because there's a lull that happens in the bar. Or in this drinking establishment, we'll call it. It's a bit makeshift. She's rather young, in fact. A bit worn around the edges, but kind of gruff around the edges. She wears pants. And is well known for her, you've at least heard if you've never laid eyes on her, for her vibrant red hair. She has this fiery Irish hair. And, but all in all, a welcoming face. One you might say you find on a mother. And she steps over and, looks at all of you, seated. And, yeah.
Yeah, I stand up and take out my dry hat and bow and introduce myself.
She says,
Eric, what would be a good last name?
oh, that's on you. Let's say you're British, so it needs to be something like, British. What's a good British last name?
I was
Thompson?
thinking,
That's a good one.
yeah, Eric
Uh,
Thompson.
Yeah, Thompson, easy. And she goes, oh.
At your service.
She looks to her, your friend. And
Captain!
yeah, you make sure not to forget it at the end. And she says, oh, another Englishman. Some graceful man.
Just who the hell are you supposed to be with your fancy hair?
She kind of looks at you. She smiles. She's used to drunk pirates. You've not insulted her. Gosh, if she was insulted by every drunk pirate she ever spoke to, she wouldn't have a crew. And she says, I'm Grace O'Malley. Captain.
Do we
Grace
know her?
O'Malley.
Well, it's a real pleasure to meet you.
So much love out there. Thank you for that follow.
You are very well known.
She smiles again. My name is Gitarab.
Let me give you my seat, and I'll get up, and I'll just pick her up and put her in my seat.
She seems to be a very, kind of solemn-faced woman. Again, she's not surprised. You kind of pick her up and sit her down. She lets out a slight giggle, but is
There we go.
appreciative of the seat.
And I'll pat her shoulder, and then I'm gonna go to the bathroom to take a leak. In character.
Oh, yes, got it. Perfect. Maybe you go hit an outhouse. We'll find out. And she says, so. Are
So
you
you-
prepared for such a endeavor?
Well, I might have snuck into some places before and stolen things.
This is not a...
Maybe a few hundred times.
Her eyebrows raise when you clarify how many times.
Sort of how I live.
She says,
I had
She
a
seems to
word.
be like fidgeting and sitting.
yeah, she's like,
She's still trying to tuck,
First keeper.
trying to keep her tail in. So
Aww.
she doesn't want to show anybody.
What was Eric saying?
This is not a workshop I had.
She goes, I sure hope not. She says, we need to make sure it doesn't come back to us. we're already at odds. And if they find out it is us, we will be raided.
We could plan something.
You seem like a crew of professionals. She kind of looks at you. I will leave that to you. But
Okay.
we could use the resources. And not having it come back to us would be ideal. And you know, my friend here, and she kind of pats Wolcott on the shoulders, tells me that you're interested in a new ship.
I was. Yes.
It's funny, because you took one of my ships. Because I'm a nice captain, right? And he's like, Wolcott like nods, yes she is, say yes, say yes. If you do this for us, I will give you a new ship. But I get to keep your old one.
Of course.
She goes, fine. It is settled then. I suggest you wait out the storm. Or use it to your advantage. And she pulls from her back pocket a piece of parchment that she rolls out on the table. She kind of pins the sides down with the glasses you were all drinking from to show you a map of Ireland, basically its current state. And she points. She says, "Here are you." And she points to Clube. And she says, "Here is where you're going." And it's just, you can see, like, it's actually, it's much farther south, near the end and tip of the island. And actually, I might have a picture of Clube. Did I save one? That I can show you guys. First off, if you guys haven't Googled Clube, it's really beautiful and you should see pictures of it. And she says, these waters, and she kind of points to the waters, are heavily guarded. And the facility is an old lighthouse. She kind of points. They have seized it.
Can we take it back? Okay.
She laughs a little bit and she says, I'll do more than give you a ship if you can fight back all the British that are there.
Oh, I guess there would be a lot, huh?
And she kind of laughs. She says, I'm more interested in weakening their force.
So, who do you want to blame?
She kind of thinks for a second. She looks over at Wolcott. She says, you know, there is one acquaintance that might deserve a good hand down of fate. She thinks on this and she says yes.
Okay.
And she can't. Well, I guess there's no way. Yeah. She says, I'm sure you heard tale of the Captain Blackbeard.
Oh, yes.
He and I have a history.
Oh.
I don't know why that came out as Russian, because my Irish is wrong. And she says, it would be beneficial to us if we made it look like it was him.
Does he have, like, a symbol or a color or something?
Oh, he definitely has a tail. He is known for leaving behind bodies with the throats slit.
Oh, okay, so we just do it like that, and then it'll look like him.
She says, I trust you to work as the professionals that you are.
Okay. And I just go back to drinking.
And she says, we'll give you as many supplies as we can. And whiskey. She looks at Tychus.
I'm outside somewhere.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah, you went to pee. And she says, and more whiskey. Gestures to the empty seat, as if to probably fan this out. And, yeah. And she kind of draws out on this map. She marks a few places to show you kind of where they believe, at least their scouts have believed that the vessels are along the coastline, where the lighthouse actually is. Now, they have no interior information for you. All they've been able to scout is the coastline without drawing too much attention. Now, the camera cuts outside to Tychus seeking to relieve himself of all of the whiskey that he's already drank. And there's a line for the single outhouse. There are 2 pirates ahead of you. Both of them, you know, of the savory Irish pirate sort.
All right, I'm gonna walk past them and pee against the side of the outhouse.
They both go, oh, mate, as they kind of shield themselves a little bit. And they go, they say, those New Worlders, they have no class. Yeah, I know. And he goes, hey, mate, you can't wait your turn in line?
Nope.
He goes, well, now you've ruined our outhouse. And he, like, it's already, like, barely standing. It's, like, swaying in the wind. You can hear it, like, creaking.
Poor baby. Well, what are you gonna do about it, huh? You gonna make me build your new one, huh?
They kind of look at each other and they go, one of them is like, oh, he really has to pee. He's kind of holding himself, kind of bouncing. He's like, I don't have it in me to fight, man. The other guy, though, he kind of steps up and goes, if a fight is what you're looking for, I got one for you. And he says,
Right.
He seems kind of weird about it. He's like, well,
That's it, Pop. All right, let's do this, and I'll activate the armor, which means that the a hood thing
slides down,
flaps
yeah.
over my, and then I'll try to punch him.
Yeah, go for it. So this is, of course, this will be your strength plus it's
Fisticuffs.
Fisticuffs. Thank you. I was like, it's not hand-to-hand combat. What do they call it? Fisticuffs. What is your what would you like the outcome of this punch to be? Just a regular old punch? You want to keep him in the game, or are you trying to like knock him solid, knock him out cold?
I mean, if I knock him out, that's up to him. I'm just gonna punch him.
Okay, great.
I'm not gonna be like, this is not an all-out punch. It's just a punch.
Just a punch. Okay, yeah, this is just a start a fight kind of a punch. I dig it. Okay. All right, go for it. Draw the strength and fisticuffs.
I have drawn the bad Joker. Is that bad?
You drew the bad Joker?
Oh no!
That sounds like it's bad.
It is
bad. It
Jokers
is.
are fun though.
Jokers do. If you flip a bad Joker, you immediately end your turn and can't draw another card, regardless of how many you have available. You fail at any check you were attempting and suffer a botch. Your character cannot act again until the next turn.
Perfect.
There is also a good Joker for all of you at home. So maybe it's your drunken state. Maybe it's because all of this around here is just like rocky cliff edges. Like nothing is flat.
And there's mud and
there's
it's gross.
mud and it's gross. You've definitely made some fresh mud by peeing on the ground outside of this outhouse. You go to swing and flat out miss because there's kind of like you slip or trip, if that makes sense. He kind of steps to the side and lets you tumble forward. Unfortunately, you smash into the other guy that was actively waiting in line, ready to just pee his pants. The bad news is both of you go tumbling into the outhouse that's barely standing. It collapses very easily under the weight of both of you. There is a pirate sitting on the loo.
This poor guy.
Yeah, this poor guy. He's sitting on the loo, and you realize that the outhouse here, because the ground is so hard and full of rock, is actually goes off the cliffside.
Uh-oh.
So, yeah, so it goes tumbling. He does it. He holds himself. The bucket just off kind of, I guess, a bucket or the seating arrangement just off the cliff edge for this. And I'm going to have Tychus and this other guy, he just wanted to pee. Really, I'm going to have both of you have to make a agility check. This would be... this would be acrobatics or athletics to basically catch yourself before you go off the side. I'm seeing if there's anything else I felt like really...
One more card, alright.
Yep. So he's gonna draw. Yay, I get to draw finally. I called purple. No. Okay. Would you like to stay with the 8, Tychus?
Yep.
Alright, you're gonna stick with the 8.
Plenty high.
Plenty high, yeah. You do. You manage to, stop yourself, before you go off. Unfortunately, the guy beside you does not. And this poor man who just needed to pee goes tumbling off of the edge of the cliff, and you hear him go, "Oh, whoa!"
Why'd you put that cliff there, you bastard?
The other guy goes, "No, Sal!" As he, reaches out and he goes, "Well..." He kind of, looks around. This other guy's still sitting on the loo. It's, now cold and raining on his head and all of these things. And there's kind of somebody peers out from the bar and goes, "Oh no, they destroyed the loo!" From inside the bar, the three of you hear a kerfuffle, kind of crunching of, like if somebody smashed a barrel, maybe, and the sound of somebody going, "Ah!" Tychus is nowhere to be found.
And I fell off the cliff?
No. You're nowhere to be found inside the bar. This is what they hear from
yeah.
inside of this bar. But yeah, your friend has not returned from.
Oh, jeez.
When I hear that, I'm
I'm
like,
like, Captain, I gotta go check on Tychus.
oh, I'll come with you, MacIver. That does sound like a Tychus sound. That's the sort of noise that follows him around.
It's still raining, but through the rain and the kind of low-lying fog on the ground, there's Tychus, covered in a little bit of mud, armor adorned, I guess you could say. There's another gentleman who you saw in the bar when you first walked in, also there, who's reaching, oh, thank you, is reaching for, over the cliff for something. The outhouse that was there is now nothing but rock and dude down with his pants, who's now trying to get his pants up and put them on as people are now looking and a crowd is drawing. I'm
gonna run to the edge of the cliff and I want to look over.
You look over, waves are lapping. You can see that, that foamy circular thing when somebody goes plop into water from a high distance. Yeah.
Okay. It's
something went
far.
plop. Yeah, and there's clearly some debris from the outhouse that's kind of traveling down. Yeah, it's pretty far. This drops down into...
Too far to climb.
You could definitely try. I'd say it's probably 50, 60, 70 feet.
What's the guy who initiated the fight with me doing?
He's looking over the edge at where his friend once was. Or where his friend ended up, I guess I should say. He kind of, on all fours, looks over.
Oh.
There's
That-
I make movement that I'm gonna kick him over the edge. And I'm saying this so if anyone would like to stop me, because
true, you
this
get a
is horrible.
chance.
Yeah, that's
But
fine.
you're a pirate. I guess I probably should have said,
dare,
we're
Tychus.
playing pirates. Pirates do bad things. Don't judge us
You're
on
gonna
pirate
get us
actions.
fired.
Yeah, it's actually going to be O'Malley that stops your foot. She comes out of almost nowhere.
It is all your fault, you dumb.
And she actually puts her blade where you like go to put your foot. She puts her blade between you and him, and it actually stops you with quite a bit of strength, Tychus.
And I'll choose to fail and fall over.
Yeah, and she kind of tips you backwards, and she says, "I feel like we've lost enough tonight." And she looks down at the gentleman. She says, "Get up. Irishmen don't sit on their knees." And she looks around and she says, "Well, no busy standing round. Unless any of you going to rebuild the outhouse, we now piss in public." And she says, "You might want to dry your clothes before you hit the seas tonight." She says, "You can stay in my abode." And she kind of points to this, brick kind of fortress that has been put up. It's actually not wide as it is tall, so that it goes very high and you can kind of see out over the bay. And she says, "You can set sail in the morning. You'll make it by sundown." And she kind of looks around everybody. She says, "Don't you all have pirating to do? Chop, chop!" And they're like, oh, everybody starts kind of bustling over themselves, trying to get back into whatever they were doing prior to the event. And she puts a hand out to help Tychus up.
I don't take it. I'll get up on my own.
Wonderful. And she says, "I like your spirit. Save it for the British."
You got any of them around?
She kind of laughs. She says, "Only this one and this one." And she puts a hand on Eric and then, of course, on Wilcott. And she says, "There will be plenty that I'd love to see at the bottom of the sea."
All right.
And she kind of pats you on the shoulder again in a understanding way. This is by far not the first time she's lost pirates to brawls, and not she understands it. It's part of the job. This is why we have liability insurance. And so she gestures over to Wilcott and she says, "Get the ships ready. They leave at sunrise." And she says, "Come on, let me treat you to a proper meal."
Oh, it's food.
She takes you all in. You spend a relatively quiet and quaint evening on the inside of her private abode. Various pirates come and go. Various captains. Wilcott checks in to say that things are ready to go for the morning. She puts you in actual dry quarters. I don't know the last time you slept in like a dry bed. It's kind of more like bunks, I guess you could say. You do have to share, but they're dry. And the rain is what puts you all to sleep. As you have an evening of rest, the food is pretty good.
I think I sleep in the bunk with McIver, and I sleep much like it's almost like sleeping with a dog. She's one of those people.
Oh yeah, you kind of
He kind of curls up.
And
needs to be like cuddled against you.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't.
I sleep wherever I can. This is where we sleep.
Face down. Yep, face down. Yeah.
But before I do that, my armor has a heating unit, which I can activate.
That's awesome.
Dry myself up, right?
That's good. Let's see. Sorry, just checking.
It only lasts a turn, but
yeah. Hey, you heat yourself up, and you get nice and warm, which means it takes you little to no time to fall face down into the bed and fall asleep. Eric, I'm guessing you join them?
Yeah.
Yep. You guys have a very pleasant evening. Most of the time when you dock, you gotta sleep in the slums or on your own vessel. It's always wet and gross. Nobody ever feeds you. You even have a chance to meet O'Malley's children at dinner. She has 2 children and a husband. She may even tell you tales of when she was and her family were considered proper royalty of these parts. But she had a deeper calling, I guess you could say. And the morning comes. It's hard to tell here on the Irish coastline. It's actually a large kind of foghorn, bell that goes off. Ding, 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 that lets you know that the sun is up.
I told you to stop doing that. I'll just throw a random pillow.
Yeah, thuds against a wooden wall or a stone wall. It's foggy. You think it's up, but you're not 100% sure the sun is up. So, yeah. Any business you want to attend to before you guys board and head out for mission?
I will be taking the dagger and go to the blacksmith.
Oh, nice. Yeah, there is a blacksmith. He's already up and working. Was up long before the sun rose. Again, a very burly, kind of squat gentleman, rotund. He has an intern or some kind of apprentice that is actively like tinking away a female, and she's can't be more than 13 or 14. Can't be. And he welcomes you into his space, kind of snorts and spits off to the side. He's drinking straight from a bottle of whiskey already this morning. And he goes, well, what can I do yous for?
How long would it take to restore this?
He grabs that and looks it over. He says, you sure you want this restored? He says, I'm pretty sure this blade here's killed many of my brethren.
Dagger is a dagger.
He kind of points it at you, goes, like that. It's about the purpose. Yeah? And he kind of lays it on the table and he says, well, the rusting, and where did you find this?
It was on when we appropriated, to get it into more caring hands.
He's like, I see. Well, he says this will have to go, and he says I could probably, he says the tip is ruined, so he would have to like cut the tip off of the sword and like kind of reframe it. He says, a couple hours maybe. He says, but he says, yeah, a couple hours, and he takes it over and immediately shoves it into the fire to start getting it right into the hearth to start getting it warm. Probably the warmest place you've been thus far, and he begins to work on it. No problem for you. There's definitely, you can hear the ting-tinging as he continues. You can definitely check back in with him before you head out, and he may have it ready.
Okay.
And yeah, there is a new ship waiting for you. It's larger than your current vessel, but not as large as, like, obviously the Navy. It actually sleeps about 10 in total. It can sleep up to 10 people. Has a much larger cargo hold. MacGyver, the rigging is not MacGyvered. It's like proper new rigging on this vessel. What? It's probably it is probably refurbished. Like, they probably absconded with it and then have repurposed it. It of course flies the black flag and the O'Malley. Oh no, it doesn't, because you guys are going undercover. It does not fly the O'Malley colors. Shiny new wheel, Eric. There are 2 cannons on this, one out each side. A dinghy, so a single again rowboat for escape if necessary. There's an actual kitchen. You don't have to cook everything on top deck. Like a small place to actually prepare food. And there are, so basically it's like downstairs are a bunch of bunks. There's like six or so of those. And then there are some private quarters that could be used. There are some private spaces that could easily be used as quarters or as, say, jail holding. It doesn't have like jail cells. It's like a door with a small window, but it's got a lock and key. So it could be purposed for multiple things. So, O'Malley greets you with a fine smile. Her hair is down, blowing in the morning breeze. Wet and damp, but still blowing. And she says, not too bad, if I say so myself.
It's excellent.
It's amazing.
She kind of smiles and she says, it's yours. When you're done. And if not, you still got this. And she points over to your vessel, which like creaks and eeks next to it a little bit. And she says, it's stocked. Should be ready. send for safekeepings, and she passes over a folded piece of fabric that you, Eric, you would very, very quickly know is the British flag.
Thank you.
She says, I was gonna burn it, but thought maybe we should hang on to it for a couple missions. And she says, well,
when the Miko was like amazed by that, Eric is kind of,
yeah,
I had better.
And yeah, right. It's actually you hear the patter of small feet coming down the cobble path along the kind of cliffside, and you see as it kind of this small figure kind of rounds down to you. It's the intern or the apprentice from the blacksmith shop. The dagger is now in hand, and you can see there have been some alterations made to it. They definitely had to shorten it to get some of the rust off of it, but it's been shortened down into more of a proper. It comes down to a very fine point. It's kind of it's like an old Celtic Irish dagger. The handle is still fine and good, though barnacles have been scraped from it, and there's some fresh leather on the handle. The pommel has been removed because it was probably valuable, and been replaced with something that allows it to hook onto your belt, or tie it on, so it's kind of almost like a loop. And it's now small enough where it would probably fit a little bit easier into your boot or your pant leg, and doesn't have to like properly hang at your side. But the apprentice runs up, and her kind of short, poofy, curly red hair, and she kind of presents you the dagger, and she says, "I made sure it was a proper Irish dagger."
Thank you, and I take it, put it in the shoe, my boots, and I throw out some money.
Nice. Oh, she catches she looks very, very pleased that she got a tip for delivery. That's pretty much all they wrote. You guys are able to dock, and it's kind of a little bit like a stiletto. It's kind of like a little bit like a stiletto, because of course he had to get rid of it. Yes, Techno. And off you guys sail. I'm going to have, again, 1 round of checks for sailing from point A to point B. But first, I want to know your plan of attack.
Okay, so I have been thinking about this.
Okay, good.
Okay, so as I understood it, when we get there, there's the lighthouse. My idea was that we send out a small team of 2 to make it so that it's out of commission, the lighthouse, and then they send out some sort of signal that the lighthouse is out, and we go to the place we need to be. We meet, and we meet out somewhere in the middle and get to the place we need to go on foot.
Okay. All right, so your plan is to basically like dock somewhere offshore, like pause offshore in hiding, send 2 people in to clear out the lighthouse, make sure that it's safe, get signal from the lighthouse, and then sail in to collect stock. Okay. Cool. Eric tosses out the plan aboard the vessel. Where do MacGyver, Tychus, and though I'm interested if Tychus has a hangover, and Miko stand on said plan?
I think that sounds good. I can go in and do stuff because I can go fast.
Sure, the captain would like to go in, do some killing, right?
Oh yeah, we gotta slit throats like Blackbeard does, because we gotta make it look like it's him.
Exactly.
We gotta
There you go.
we gotta act like Blackbeard.
So So my clever. When I'm off the ship, you're in charge.
Betcha.
All right. So, I am going to say, all of you did a great job when you were speaking with the Pirate Queen and her assistants around staying honest to who you are without flat out saying that you're pirates. So I'm going to award Moxie to all of you for that encounter. Don't forget you can spend Moxie various ways as we go into what is going to be some combat encounters, some reminders of ways that you can use Moxie. Okay? You can always spend Moxie to increase your card count. So if you have, like, you only get to draw 1 or 2, you can always add an additional card. You can use Moxie to reduce damage. You can use Moxie to gain a boon. Things like Moxie can be used to help shape narrative if you don't do well and you really want or need something to happen. You can use it to take an extra trait action. You can use it to recall a card, reshuffle your deck, important. Or you can use it what's known as self-sacrifice, which is when there's a character that's like adjacent to you, you can take damage for them. Basically, you put yourself in harm's way for them. Yeah, so just some things to think about as we go into this, because, well, at least 3 of you have quite a few Moxie points to spend. Okay? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna recall this to the bottom. Recall. Okay. So these are going to be the same pools that we made the last time. Yep, the same draws that we made. So make sure that you double check your card count, and let's get those from each of you. This, of course, being the conveyance draw. Oh,
I'm
yeah,
super
nice
helpful
job.
this time around.
Hey, you are super helpful. You are all super helpful. This is
I got a 7.
smooth sailing. Oh, nicely done.
Nate.
Nice. Yeah, between all of you, these are all really good. Each of you are highly successful at your jobs. Maybe it's because the rigging is new, or just the feel of freshly varnished wood on the wheel underneath your fingers, Eric. Tychus, there is actually a little more for you to do on this vessel than the last one. And most importantly, is holding down the mast as things move, because the wind is whipping and can pull any small creature about the deck. I imagine you just grab hold of it with one hand and you just stand there like a pillar. Yeah, so you guys make it down the coast. It's smooth sailing. As the sun does rise in the day, the fog dissipates some and shows off the beautiful coastline of the Irish Isle. And as you start nearing really the southern section of it, you start to see on the horizon, Eric probably first with the telescope, the vessels kind of sprinkling, all adorning the British flag. Yeah, I would say, though, with this, you managed to navigate pretty stealthily. MacGyver throws up the British flag that was given, and in you come. How far offshore do you want to stop?
I would say quite a view, like, that would be good.
Yeah, because you don't want to, like, be in the middle of the vessels, but, well, they've got to, you don't want to be too far out that they have a long way to row, and that you can't get to them quickly. So here's what I'm actually going to have you do. I think, no, you've been around the block a few times. I will give you do you have sense? Is that a skill that you hold?
I don't have that skill.
Okay, then I'm just gonna let you draw for perception, because I know you got points in perception, correct?
I don't have skill in perception, no.
In your trait? Okay. So
I have perception of 2.
of 2. Okay, so you can just draw, yeah, so 2 cards. So you can make just a general perception, basically, check here. Whoop.
I'm gonna try again.
Yep. Okay.
So that's worse.
That's worse. Now, you can always
What's that
use
supposed?
a Moxie and add another card. That's a thought here. If you want,
I'm
basically
gonna use
this.
a Moxie.
Okay, great. I was like, basically this check is helping you find some cover. Okay, 4 it is. But the good news is you get a boon. That's a plus. It's only a 4, but you get a boon. So we're not gonna yeah. You see that you can absolutely see the lighthouse as you get closer. It's very clear that they are protecting this area, which tells you that this is the spot. The lighthouse, obviously being the middle of the day, is not currently functioning, or at least you can't see any kind of beam coming out of it. And you're unable to tell what the foot traffic looks like from this far out in terms of, like, are there people at the door and things like that. But you do see that there's kind of an outcropping of some rocks that you might be able to hide this vessel behind. That's close enough where you could get there quickly, but would keep you out of sight until you get the signal that you're looking for. So the good news is, the boon is that you see it. Unfortunately, as you kind of sail in to hide yourself, there is yeah, as you sail in to kind of hide yourself, one of the closer vessels, you see a kind of a shimmer, like almost like a light flashing back at you a few times. They're a few hundred yards off, but they seem to have noticed you. They're making some kind of signal to you.
I'm taking out I guess I have some sort of mirror somewhere, and I'm start to
kind of flash back. Do you do any kind of like order or pattern, or you just want to give signal back to them?
I'm going to. Could I just like get some sort of? I could use my expertise to distinguish like what was message to him us.
Yeah. What do you hold expertise in?
Like, it's not like the skill, but it's the.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, the expertise of something. So I would say you could use expertise. This would probably be. It's kind of just a general. Yeah, just use expertise. You've been around a block. You don't necessarily have to have a skill for it. Not too bad.
I'm gonna use here. Bad Joker.
Bad Joker, bad Joker. Okay, this is fun.
I'm going to. Should I use my lucky?
How does lucky work?
If I get a botch, I can use lucky once per game, so that it becomes success instead.
Okay, let me double check, because I think the Joker, if you flip a bad Joker, you immediately end your turn, can't draw. You fail any check you were attempting and suffer a botch. So here's what I'll let you do. We'll say the botch is negated, but you don't successfully do what you were trying to do, which is like bounce life back at them. So you don't say anything bad.
Okay, I'm going to. Yeah, I'm going to botch it.
Okay, you're gonna let it botch.
Yeah.
Okay. We're owning. I love it. We're owning that bad Joker. Yeah, you kind of start bouncing light back. It hits a few of your eyes, maybe Tychus's eyes, like, oh, it doesn't hit the right direction or something. It kind of bounces around, and the light, the signaling from the opposing vessel, stops. Very abruptly. And there are a few bodies that begin to kind of line up along the edge of the vessel. You're unsure as to what's going on. But you are anchored, and you're not bashing against the rocks, and you think that you're relatively hidden from the rest of the ships. It's just this one.
Does my telescope let me see far enough? See
Yeah.
what colors are the...
Yeah,
body
you kind of pocket the mirror and kind of put the telescope back up. You see a man using a telescope to look at you. He's kind of adjusting. You see he kind of chats to somebody beside him, and then he goes back to kind of staring at you.
Yeah, I don't have the uniform, obviously.
Yeah. So there's definitely a moment there of some hesitancy.
I just...
You salute. Great. Then that's the American salute, which is almost more insulting. You see, not but moments after that, 30 seconds maybe, 4 soldiers enter the dinghy boat hanging on the side of the rowboat, and it drops to the water. Psh. They're headed your direction.
Should we get to the lighthouse now before those guys get here? You want to handle them and we'll go, or what? Or do you want us to handle them?
Let's welcome our guests.
Okay, you're gonna wait for them to get there?
Yes.
Okay. This
All
might
right,
actually
I'll
turn
climb up
out in your favor. We'll see how this goes. As the vessel gets close, you can see there's a man at the front. He wears an officer's uniform. He's got 1 foot up on the very front. And he says, "Present yourself!"
I go into the side, and I just very like extravagant. And what you think? Greetings.
He says, "These waters are off limits to anybody that is not British Navy."
Don't you see our colors?
He says, "I see that you fly the flag of the British, but are you military?"
Well, you see, we are on a very, very secret mission from the Queen.
I see.
Do we have a queen? Is it a king?
Right now, I believe it's actually
I mean-
Elizabeth. Let me, you know what? That's a historical thing that deserves to be looked up. I think it's actually Elizabeth that's moving through.
Yeah.
By England's colonization, no, you're right. The period is bounded by dates. King Henry VIII disposed.
Okay.
So
I say
we're
king.
somewhere between. We don't know if we had a king or queen at this point, but Oh,
Yeah,
no,
I say
no.
king.
Queen Mary I reverted the state to Catholicism in 1553, which is about where we are, is 1560. So it is a Queen Mary I.
Okay. Yeah. Queen.
And he says, "I say, I'm gonna actually have you roll a persuasion here, or draw for some kind of persuasive. So this will be a charisma.
Yeah, deception.
Charisma deception. Yep.
I have that.
Great. So go ahead and make sure. Yep. Take that charisma deception. Let's get that draw because I think we're gonna need it here.
Yeah. I have 3.
Okay. Wonderful. Okay. Well, you know you got rid of your bad jokers. You can't pull it again. That's plus plus. Okay.
That is a big lie, so I'm gonna try and
Okay. Okay.
that's worse.
I love this game so much. Every time a card is drawn, man, this is why sometimes you just keep drawing a king with a boon. He goes, "I see." He says, "I say, why then are you doing a secret mission along this shoreline?
Well,
Are we in
there's,
trouble?"
Well, our intelligence says that there are pirates here.
He goes, "Pirates!" He kind of yells out. The other men aboard go, "Pirates, pirates, pirates," as they kind of whisper in British nothings to themselves. And he says, "I say, well, let us back aboard our vessel and let the rest of the fleet know that we should be aware there are pirates in these waters."
Yes, Blackbeard himself.
Gasp. He believes it. Your boon, he believes that Blackbeard has come all this way. And he says, "I say, I have waited my whole life to face the Blackbeard. I have a new purpose." And he salutes you. He says, "Thank you, soldier. I did not catch your name."
It's John.
He was wonderful. Well, good luck on your top secret mission. And be careful. Pirates are tricky folk.
Truly. Oh.
And he literally walks through his men to the opposite end of this rowboat, so that now he's facing forward again, and they begin rowing the opposite direction back towards his ship. You have managed to convince them that you belong here. But now they are going to be searching the waters for pirates. Plus a negative. Specifically Blackbeard, though, which means that they're not looking for you, that's for sure. And it takes a couple minutes for them to row out of range, and you believe that you're kind of hidden, again, amongst these rock cliffs.
Okay, Michael, let's go.
Okay. So am I
Alright.
climbing off the
You are
strip?
in charge.
The boat goes down. You very easily kind of follow the coastline up and manage to find a embankment that you can pull it up on. And you step foot onto kind of almost like a marshy green area that eventually it kind of goes up and around to the cliff where the actual lighthouse sits. What are your actions? And
Okay.
I also need to know, what is the signal that you're gonna give them?
I was thinking because what would be a good signal? Do you guys have any ideas?
Sound of a dying giraffe.
I love that Tychus knows what a giraffe is, and probably none of the rest of them have ever seen one.
No idea.
Yeah.
I think we can just, we'll just, like, wave a torch.
Okay. Yeah, like proper, like. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think some sort of animal sound would be better.
Well, I don't think you guys can hear us.
Yeah,
You'll
there's
be
a lot
very
of
far
wave
away.
splashing. Unless you had a way to help project your voice, but then you can't really stop the British from hearing you. The British
Yeah.
are coming. Okay. So you'll use some kind of torch. There'll be some kind of fire-based signal. Okay. Are you sneaking up to this?
Yes, I would like to sneak.
Yes.
Wonderful. Let's get that agility stealth.
Okay.
If you don't have the stealth, just make the agility. Holy moly.
An ace.
Wow. Nicely done. Two
Right.
aces? Holy crap. You guys are super stealthy. How would you like to approach this? As you come up, you see there are two at the very top where, like, the light actually, like, spins around. The firelight spins. Obviously out right now. There are two of them up there. There is one at the entrance and one that's, like, circling the base. He's kind of walking around the exterior. They do not see you, and you have the element of surprise. What would you like to do?
Slit
their
throats.
Yeah. I'm trying to. I take out my old sticker and hand it to the Michael.
The witch? Sorry?
I give you the old dagger that I had,
Oh, the
okay.
dagger.
Yeah, a dagger
Yeah.
beforehand.
But-
Okay, great.
and I take out my new one from my
Okay.
boots.
Okay. Yeah, I have a dagger.
Oh, okay, good.
So I'll
And I point at the one that's at the door.
Mhm.
And I ask simply. And
Okay.
I try to take out the one that's patrolling. And
Okay, the one that's, like, walking the outside?
Mm.
Okay, so you do get the element of surprise. This will be a melee weapon attack using your strength.
Okay,
Okay.
I have the melee weapons and
Strength. So make sure you add those. Yep. And that'll be how many you can draw. Miko, are you going to take out the other officer at the door?
yeah.
Okay. Have you do the same thing.
I don't want that.
Okay.
Don't. You can always use Moxie to go back to a card if you want, or to draw a third card.
I'm gonna try drawing a third card.
Great.
Well, that's better. At least I get a boon.
Okay. Well, the good news is these are not really like a proper naval like captain or officer. These are a bunch of lookouts. So it's a little bit easier to hit. I'm just making sure I got all this right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, each of you do... Let's just check. I'll make sure I remember how to do this now. So each of you drew a 9.
Yeah.
Correct. You needed a... The hit is... I'll make sure
Your body.
Body is 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a miss.
I did miss. They hit. Got it. Okay, yep. So that's their hits. Their body is what we're going up against. So you needed a 10 to hit, to actually like get through or to properly slit their throat. Which
Well, we both got boons.
you both got boons. So here's what I'll say. You sneak up behind both of them. They're a little bit faster than you expect. You don't manage to actually get the slice in, but you do manage to cover their mouths. So they don't shout out as you grapple them.
Okay.
They're going to take action very quickly, and then we will, let's see. Yeah, they're going to take action. One of them is going to try to get out of, like, try to remove, the one that you're covering, Miko, is going to try to remove your hand. So that's just going to be a flat strength.
Okay.
Which is good news. They get some things for this.
So my body score is 9.
9. Okay. Here we go.
So they're gonna want to hit that.
They do. They pull the hand away and they go, some British term of like, what's going on? Is what kind of rings out. They don't yell, but they haven't quite like figured it out. And he calls out, he goes, hey mate! To his friend. Then he's going to stick with that one. And then the other one that you've got, Eric, is also going to... he's going to try to actually put it in a little kerfuffle. He's not just trying to remove the hand. He's going to reach for his blade and try to take a swipe, but he's at a bit of a disadvantage because you're behind him. So... Boop-a-doo-doo. Oh. He doesn't have a lot in this... Brr, he's sticking with that one. Okay. He doesn't manage to actually, like, tank you or hit you because, like I said, you were behind him. What he does manage to do is get you off of him. And now, you got one that is aware. They're both aware that you're there. The two up top don't seem to have noticed you yet. Okay. Back around. I'm going to make it your turn since you guys really just started first. We're not going to worry too much about the initiative order.
Okay.
Because you guys got the first attack, first surprise. So you're up. What did the two of you do? You're kind of acting in tandem.
Okay.
He's now blade in hand facing you, Eric.
Okay. In that case, I throw mine
Okay.
and try and to get the slice through the throat.
Yeah, you just want to really like hit. You just want a nice clean slice across the throat. Okay, same thing. It's going to be another melee attack against his 10. That's what you got to get. Woof. All these 3s today. You did it with the boon. So I will say you do. He's not expecting. He's expecting like a, he like British military. He like wields his little sword and he takes a proper stance and he forgets he's fighting a pirate. And as he lunges, you just slice him dirty across the throat with that boon included. And there's that moment where his eyes get kind of big and then it opens up and like bleeds out and he falls to the ground at your feet. Miko.
I will also, because I still got the, he managed to get my hand, the hand off, but I'm still behind him. So I'm gonna do it again, and I'm gonna actually like wrap myself around him, like, because I've already got my arms over his.
Yeah, like all monkey style, like you want all fours. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get all like on top of him.
Great, you're like, you like make a jump and you're gonna make this slice. So let's get that same agility melee.
Okay, let's just get rid of my old cards. There we go. Whoops. No. Oh no.
Oh no. Ha
Yes.
ha!
Okay, it comes with a botch.
Yep.
That's
like
fine.
spider monkey. You like jump onto his back, and there's a big slice that you drag across his throat. I will say the complication that comes in here is actually that he manages to get a scream out. There's like which alerts the two upstairs.
Okay.
The two upstairs, one of them looks down and goes, "What's going on down there? Report! Billy, I said report!"
Fine. Everything's fine.
Make a deception. That's a charisma deception. It's fine, everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
I love it. Oh! Okay, he definitely believes. He goes, "Okay, mate, I just thought I heard you scream." He kind of looks. He looks at his friend. Because you got the boon with it, he's not going to send his friend down to check from upstairs. They kind of stop peering down, but there's an awareness there that something weird's going on. Eric, you're able to join Miko, no problem. That you can see the blood on the end of the blade. You know that the job has been done.
Okay. You go. You climb up, and
Okay.
when you hear me whistle, attack the one that's opposite side.
Okay.
And of the stairs.
You might be able to actually climb this one, Miko. You wouldn't even have to. You could go inside and take the stairs up, but on the exterior, it's kind of like a cobblestone exterior. You might be able to actually climb it.
I think I'm going to try that. Yeah, I'd like to climb.
So I'll just get that agility really quick from that agility acrobatics.
Okay.
I know usually it's athletics, but I imagine yours looks a little bit more acrobatic.
Yeah. I don't think a 7 is enough. Definitely not a 5.
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
problem.
woo,
You
woo.
begin kind of like, it's almost like parkour jumping, side to side as you kind of come up, and you can see there's just a small ledge where, that feeds into the opening for the lighthouse, and he's kind of, the one's kind of standing there with his weapon, looking out over the coastline.
Okay.
Okay, I go up.
You want to go up the stairs?
Yeah.
I'm going to say, based on the last stealth that you guys made that was so high, you continue this kind of like creepy climb up. You're in place, Eric, and you hope Miko is. You can't really tell, but so far Miko's had your back, so.
Yeah, I whistle, and when I see the one of the guards is turned back to me,
Yep.
I will. When I get to him and try to slice his throat, I let out a whistle.
Great. Yeah, you sneak up and you go to make that move, and right before you make the grapple, that like comes out the whistle, and Miko, so I'm gonna have you both make just one more melee. This is getting pretty close. You might actually do this. Eric, I would also say when you entered, you saw that each tier of this lighthouse, which are 3 high, is jam-packed with barrels. As stacked as many in here as they possibly can. Hey, look at that. So let's read from the book, because I love reading Craig's words. If you flip a good joker, you succeed at the check and you gain a boon. Additionally, you immediately take another trait action. So Miko, tell me what trait action you want. It's very successful. Do you slice his throat? What do? You pull him over? How do you kill this guy?
So there's 2 of them still, right?
There are. One of them is definitely being handled by Eric.
Okay. Because I was going to take that guy out too.
Oh. Just for
So-
funsies?
Yeah, so she climbs up the ledge. She sort of creeps up, sees the guy, and she does sort of a backflip onto his shoulders,
Oh my god.
right? Slits his throat, and then sort of rolls off onto the other guy.
Uh-huh.
And does the same thing and rolls off,
Nice.
just taking both of them in this sort of momentum.
This-
She just keeps the momentum going.
Yeah, you like ping, and Eric, it's almost surprising to you as she kind of swings, Miko does in there. You go to pull the blade, and before you can ever get it across this guy's throat, she's already like pinged around. Both bodies flop, and you kind of stand there, blade still where his neck was. But the job is done, and it lays quiet.
She just like,
Good job.
Nice. Yeah, you're like, this is my crew. Yes, proud captain. And the camera's going to cut all the way down the lighthouse, over the edge, down to the awaiting ship. Tychus and MacGyver, what are you doing as you wait for this signal?
So, MacGyver, you want to just take the ship and run?
That's not very sportsmanlike.
I mean, it's free.
What are we gonna do with the whole ship, just the two of us?
You mean we can't? All right, yeah. Oh well. Just a thought.
Just
Appreciated thought.
I love him so much. Let's
But
see.
hey, if we get the new boat, you can have your own room.
It's almost as good as a whole ship. You think they're all right over there?
It's Miko. They're fine.
If you have another telescope, you're welcome to kind of look through to see if you see anything. You guys kind of sit literally just staring at this lighthouse. It's like up on a cliff, so you're just waiting on that signal. But the two of you do begin to notice that a lot of smaller rowboats are beginning to descend from all of the other vessels. They're kind of searching the waters, I guess you could say. None of them are coming near the ship, but you can see that they are out in number. Because they're looking for Blackbeard. And there is a chill that runs up both of your spines. And as you look out over and kind of see these boats beginning to drop into the water, there's a very a large military vessel. This one holds more like 150 men. Probably the centralized ship of this fleet in particular. And you see something interesting. As a pirate, you've seen some weird stuff, right? Tortuga Bay has some really weird people with powers. But from the centralized deck of this large ship, you're pretty sure you see this kind of like spout. At first, you might think of it as smoke, but there now is this odd sense and chill in the air. And a fog, thick, starts to fill in. Very quickly, the ship in the center's like your sightline of it disappears, as almost like I imagine it looks like a diffuser, like those diffusers for your desk, you know, like the smoke kind of billows out and it pours over the sea as it slowly begins to hide all of these vessels, and the smoke is ever encroaching towards you.
Huh.
Well,
You know, we won't be able to sail into the thingy if the fog hits us. You wanna just go now?
we might have to.
Okie dokie.
So what is the plan? You're gonna unanchor the vessel and begin moving?
Yep.
Okay. Before the signal's given, you guys begin moving. The two of you will have to man this vessel on your own, so I do need those rolls from you again. Either agility, again, Tychus, I might take strength since you're going to be like just strengthening your way through it. But MacGyver, you're going to have to probably take the wheel, because I'm pretty sure that you're the only one that has the proper skill for this.
Yeah, I have skills in both conveyances and mechanicals, so I
Perfect.
should have it covered.
If nothing else, you can tell Tychus what to do, mechanically speaking. But yeah, so let's get you to draw for that, and we'll have Tychus make, if I think we said earlier he doesn't have it, but we'll just have you make a general strength check.
Strength I do have, so...
We'll do that. I would say strength and... Yeah, I mean, conveyances is really the big one, but...
This is not great.
Great. The fog rolls in. Makes it more difficult. Okie dokie. Now, don't forget, you can always spend a moxie, add a card, or spend a moxie and go back to a card. But I think all of yours were pretty low, right? What do we get? 4, 2, and 2. Yeah, so you can draw a 4th card there if you'd like.
Better.
Okay, that is better. You're not usually behind the wheel. And definitely not of a vessel this large. It's new, right? So there's a little scraping along some rock edges. You're also trying to man a vessel that probably needs 4 with just 2. But Tychus rolled an 8 on that strength. You can see as you direct the grabbing of ropes from these long muscular arms begin pulling and tugging and trying to kind of help guide the
I
vessel.
take it back. Let's never, ever take this boat with just us.
Yeah, it's
Never
not
again.
a pretty sight. And you kind of ride the coastline up to where they docked. So I would say that you're offshore by about 60 feet or so from where you see the rowboat that they took in. The fog now is getting very thick. And you can see it almost splashes against the side of the vessel as it comes up and begins to spill unnaturally over this area. Very quickly, this 60-foot sightline that you had to the coast kind of dissipates. It stops at the shoreline.
If we ever need to cut bait, we're taking the dinghy.
Right? And as you say that, the camera pans up the lighthouse, past 4 bodies, and we've got Eric and Miko. Do you signal?
Yeah. Before we signal, let's go check out the barrels that are down there.
Make sure they're the right ones.
Just a quick peek in them, yeah.
Yep. You're gonna ping down, you pop a lid. There are each level seems to hold something different. The gunpowder, of course, being at the bottom, the most volatile, you don't want it at the top, so all of it at the bottom seems to be gunpowder barrels. In the center, you're dealing with food resources, so it looks like barrels of apples, potatoes, things that aren't gonna just flat rot that fast. And then upstairs, on the very top, where you killed the other 2, there are a few less barrels, but these seem to be barrels of liquid, probably whiskey or rum or booze or something of some kind, beer even. All in all, there are about, I'd say the bottom 2 levels have about 10 barrels each, and the top has about 4, so about 24 barrels total. You were told that the most important thing is going to be the gunpowder for moving. That's the resource they want to take first. Food being second.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so... Okay. Let's signal.
Okay.
Yeah. You guys kind of light this torch not hard. There's a giant burning flame in the center because it's a lighthouse of the 1500s. And you kind of light a piece of wood or a lantern that you find on the wall, and you begin waving. Miko, you notice something when you get up there to make this signal and really wave it. A massive thick fog has rolled in over this bay, and you can't see your ship or any of the other ships. It stops unnaturally at the shoreline.
Oh, Captain, I don't think this is right.
I'm gonna have Tychus and MacGyver make a perception check with sense if you haven't. Very nicely done. It is with a complication. You think you see something. You're trying so hard, MacGyver, to squint. You're like, where is it? Where is it? Come on, come on, come on. You think you see kind of an orange glow through the fog. What you don't see is what you don't see anymore is the shoreline. You can't actually see pulling the boat up closer.
Or the dinghies.
Or the dinghies, yeah. All of it is now... So you know that you've been signaled. They say that it's all clear, but you've got to pull the vessel up.
Well, Bad news is I have no idea where I'm going.
Yep.
Good news is if we can't see the other guys, they probably can't see us either.
Also true. Super true. So I'm going to have, you're going to make one more, roll here to pilot the vessel up. It's going to be a much more difficult because you're trying to pull it up without, wrecking this vessel along the shoreline. So, there's a little lexicon in the back of this Capers Pirates with piratey sayings. Cutesies. Okay, and I would say that, Tychus, if you wanted to help, you could do it a few ways. You can just continue to try to man, or you can be eyes for her.
I'm not going to be eyes. I'm going to man the boat, and
Great.
I'm doing so with a 10.
A 10! That's
pulled,
pretty
so,
good.
yeah.
It's at least not getting away from you. You're really, holding it in place. All right, let's get that last draw for the conveyances.
I haven't fiddled with the roll yet. Every card draw has been good.
That's
for
good.
what I want.
That's good. It means by the time your deck gets down to the bottom, it's going to be 2s, 3s, and 4s. But so is the joy of Capers. And nicely done. Is that Jack fresh?
Yes.
Great. Love it. The good news is your senses guide you. And with the help of your trusty friend Tychus, you guys have come a long way, and you're not gonna die here on the shores of Ireland. You didn't come all the way from America for this. I guess we're not really America yet. The New World for this. And you managed to get it up close. There's a moment where you can feel the boat just drag across a rocky bottom. That hesitation. Just a little and you know that you've made it as close as you're going to make it. Miko and Eric, you think above this thick, dense fog, you see the mast of your vessel pull in a little closer to the shoreline. You're pretty sure that's your crew, and they've made it.
They
You
are
can tell by
pretty
the
much
British
it.
flag. Dead giveaway.
Dead giveaway, that British flag, yeah.
They hear this, and I'm going down.
Okay, do you guys want to start moving product?
Yes. Actually, no. We should secure them first, and then meet up with them.
Okay, yeah, so you want to go down and make sure it's them. Great. You're able to go down. All you hear are voices through this fog. Like I said, the shoreline has no fog. The water has all of it. And you can kind of shout out. You hear one another and are able to confirm that is in fact your vessel pretty quickly.
Okay, so let's go down.
Right? Yeah, I start packing up.
And moving. All right, you're going to have to move all of these barrels. Everybody that's helping move barrels needs to make a strength athletics.
Ooh, I'm good at that.
Because they are heavy. These are not light barrels of gunpowder.
How?
A 3.
I swear
No,
my
thank
deck
you.
has more 3s in it than it's
That it's
supposed
supposed to.
There, a 9.
Okay, that's good.
I'm not throwing because I'm a captain, and that is not my
Sure.
job.
You also could be the one if you wanted to because it's gonna take you all a while. So this
I
will be a
will
little bit of a
supervise.
narrated, but yeah, you can guide it. You can also be the one that rows
Yeah.
it back over and lugs it up. So yeah, just a strength athletics from everyone. Okay. Anybody want to use Moxie? No. Yes. Great.
we're
think
right
so.
at the end. Might
we
as well.
are. Yeah, we're at the end.
Might as well.
Might as well.
Right? Oh yeah, that's way better. Oh, me and my tail are just. I got a system.
Yeah, the 10 is
not
fine.
as good.
That is good. That's okay. It takes you a while. There's even a moment where one of the barrels rolls down the hill and boots into the water and bumps up next to the dinghy boat that you have. It is not a fast process to unload this. It takes you probably about 30, 40 minutes to move everything, to put it on the boat, to get it up and over. The good news is you have a very strong gentleman named Tychus on your side, who is easy to help you get things up and over. And eventually you manage to get all 10 of the gunpowder barrels aboard the vessel. just in time for a small boat to pull up with a captain and two other privateers in it. And he kind of rings out and he says, "Hey!" He kind of looks at you. This is not the same one from before. "What are you doing?"
We are appropriating these products, and
He says, to go where? Who ordered you to do this? We're under a strict quarantine right now. The Blackbeard's out there. He kind of, he's probably not more than like 18 max. His voice kind of like quivers a little bit at the idea that out there somewhere in the scary waters is Blackbeard.
Is that what you heard? Oh no, we better get out of here then. Come on, guys, let's run.
Yeah.
Okay, who's making the deception check? Because they may follow you. But we'll see.
Uh,
I'm not that good at it, but I'll try.
Okay. I say
because you made the lie. So you should
go for it. Okay, a 4. He goes, but if we run, we're gonna bump into all the other ships. We were told to stay still.
What?
This is a special ship. It can survive anything. If you come into this ship, you get back home.
Right. Your turn for a deception check. Charisma deception.
I'm good at this.
Okay. He goes, "Wow, young, naive. I've never heard of such a thing. Well, be careful out there. Blackbeard's a tricky pirate. And have you heard? He kills everyone he comes in contact with."
Oh no.
Oh, that is terrible.
He says, "Chop, chop. I'll report to the officer aboard the main vessel that this area is secure." And they kind of push off and head back into the fog. You're able to reattach your dinghy, and all 4 of you board your vessel for what is the return trip back up to Clue Bay. I have to have you all navigate these waters, and this is going to be a really difficult check because of the fog. Unless somebody has a way to help dissipate the fog. But this seems, like I said, an unnatural fog. Holy crap. Okay, well, the captain's on it.
Alright, I've got...
Yeah, so conveyances, agility conveyances. In the case of Tychus, we always take strength. Because he's gonna... That's so good.
I'm just gonna push all these boats out of the way.
Yeah, you're just gonna... Wow. Okie dokie, gang. Good thing it was your last draw, and you had to navigate the scary waters because you did it. It takes you so much longer. This dense fog seems to also be without wind. Almost entirely, as if somebody is controlling the weather. And eventually you pass out of the fog, and you know it almost instantly. It's like a radius effect. And as you come out the other side and you pass through, you can see that the fog continues. And there's a ringing of ding, 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 ding. One ship's bells go off. Another one, ding, 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 ding. Panic has begun to arise in the fleet of British that scour this coastline. And as soon as you hit the outskirts of the fog, the wind picks up. And the whole ship lunges into motion as it picks up, and you are able to successfully make your way back up to Clue Bay without a tail. You are greeted with a lot of happy faces, including that of the great pirate queen herself, O'Malley. You're thanked. You're rewarded with your 200 doubloons. That you were promised. They seem legit. You can, teeth test them or whatever sees fit to you. And as you arrive, she simply says, great thanks and whatnot. She says, the ship is yours. it's a good thing, too, because I've already, replaced your vessel with the one you blew up.
Also, we scraped this one up a little, so...
she kind of pats you on the shoulder and lets out a laugh, and she says,
And-
it wouldn't be a good pirate ship if it wasn't a little scratched.
And we have a talk about that later.
Oh? And she says, and, how goes, convincing them it was Blackbeard?
Yeah, simply.
She says, well, seems to me like you have a story to tell. Shall we do it over a few glasses of whiskey?
Why not?
And she leads you up. Everybody kind of gathers behind you. There's a little bit of celebration. They now have 10 barrels of gunpowder they didn't have before. It's unknown where it went. And you have all successfully capered your way through and helped the Pirate Queen with this mission. You've earned your right among her crew if you see fit. And you are welcome in Clue Bay anytime. And because of time, yay! We're done! You guys did it!
Victory!
Not too scary. We capered. We came and we conquered and capered. This has been a lot of fun, and now I kind of want to run a pirate game. It's okay. I'm planning to do that. I'll tell you guys more about that. Very soon. But this will be actually the end of Sunday Funday today. I am hopping off to go run one of our private Patreon games, in fact. So for all of you at home, yeah. This one's been in the works, and unfortunately, because I canceled last weekend and pushed everything back, there was some funky stuff. But don't fret. The crew that was going to be playing D&D this week is picking up in February, on February 16th. And if you're interested in joining us for a Sunday Funday, you can actually sign up for February through April now. I'm excited to announce that our staple game coming to Sunday Fundays will be Kids on Bikes. Renegade Games will be hosting us during those Kids on Bikes streams, which is really exciting. So, if you want to play some Kids on Bikes, you can go for it. I'm excited to be running it a bunch because we're going to be doing it in different time periods. And I've got some that aren't just strictly like 80s Kids on Bikes. We'll be playing Boxcar.
Some are bikes on kids.
Bikes on Kids! Now that's a Halloween episode in the making. But yeah, we'll be playing all kinds of things. I've got one set in the 20s where you're actually kids hopping train cars and not bikes and some other fun stuff. So
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be very cool. I'm very excited for that one. So you've got plenty of Kids on Bikes to play. It looks like we will probably be bringing back... Secret of Cats. There was a request to bring back some more kitty action, so if you've ever just wanted to play a good old cat protecting their human, now is your chance. And I do believe I've also added a game of Coriolis. So for those of you that have been checking out the Coriolis campaign I'm running over on Unmade Gaming's channel, if you have interest, you'll have a chance to run through a one-shot. It's a free league game, and actually we were talking about it before we went live. How much I love their games, their content. So we'll be doing a little one-shot of Coriolis. So some sci-fi for you as well. So lots of stuff to play there. Sign-ups are there. Sign-ups are open. Go grab a slot. And if you've never played the game before, ask these folks. They'd never played Capers before today, and they did just fine. So... you'll be great, and do come and join us. More importantly, if you just want to stay up to date as to what's going on over here on the Dot Lot, come join the Discord. It's where we chat, we share daily things as well as announcements of when we're going live and what's coming to the channel. And as we're closing out, I am excited to announce that we will be bringing a Dragon Age campaign here to the Dot Lot for 4 Sundays, 2 Sundays in February and 2 Sundays in March, so for a 4-week mini campaign. I'm excited to announce that it will be Saverick, who was actually in our Capers campaign, that will be GMing that. It's kind of his brainchild. I will be playing in it, and I'm excited to announce the rest of the cast, which I can officially do today. Let me pull that up so I can make sure I do that. We'll be making like a proper social media announcement of the cast, but the cast currently is, of course, myself, and it's going to be Pro Restarter, will be joining us for that, as well as Jessica Osborne, who's Little Capuzzo, and Thembraeus, who you may know as Adam as well online, will be joining us for that campaign. So it'll be a fun little Dragon Age mini campaign that will be available for all of you to watch come very soon. So I'll have some more announcements coming about that, but it's going to be a very exciting thing because it's kicking off something new here on the Dot Lot, which I'm very excited to officially announce. I think I've just decided, and we're going to call it the Dot Lot Incubator Series. Every couple months, we will be taking 4 Sundays and providing them to one of you to GM a campaign, a mini campaign of your choosing. You get 4 players, 4 weeks, and 2 hours a show basically to pitch your ideas. So I'm going to be putting a form together very soon. For that, as now that I've kind of settled on what it looks like, and you can pitch your ideas. More importantly, moving forward in 2020, even if one of your ideas don't make it to the incubator, I may still be using GMs to start GMing on Sunday Fundays.
Ooh.
So one show will be, GM'd by me, but the community is active and growing, and so many of you have been out there GMing things, and there are games you want to play, and all of you are so passionate, and the least I can do is offer you a space to do that in. So there will be more things coming. We'll be playtesting some stuff, and you will have a chance to actually get to GM here on the Dot Lot on Sundays in 2020. So more information to come, but the best way to stay up on that is to join the Discord. Now, enough from me. I'll have a few more announcements when this is done, but let's meet our amazing cast, because let me tell you guys, I don't know if you were actually pirates like another life or something, but you made some serious pirate choices today. Like, I love how you guys are like, oh yeah, Blackbeard slits throats, yeah, we got that. We're just gonna, no problem, we'll slit a few throats here, we'll do a few things there. So yes, it was really wonderful, and I thought you guys did just a fantastic job. There were so many like cute moments from everybody, and everybody really like owned their character. So we'll go backwards. You guys tell us who you are and where we can find you online, and please feel free to drop some links into chat so others can follow you. And we'll actually start with Mad Fishmonger.
Hello, yeah, I am Mad Fishmonger. I really enjoyed this. I had a good time.
Good.
I have played a lot of Capers, but I haven't actually played the Pirates version, so it was fun to do that. I do love me some Capers. We played not only on your campaign, but NerdBurger Craig ran a full 25 episodes, I think, campaign, all set in the 20s, it's all like Prohibition based, so you can go watch that on his channel. It's awesome. And I had the books, and I also wrote for the expansions. So I wrote for Capers of Word and Capers Noir.
I just got my hands on Noir, and you guys,
my name is in there.
so good. That's so exciting. And you know what? Craig also ran a short series over on Roll For It's channel too.
Yes.
Which you can also check out. I played in that one. Obviously, so yeah, Capers is out there, man, and Craig's a great dude. I've had a chance to meet Craig a few times, and he's just a lovely human, and I love his content. So go check him out, and if nothing else, there is a Kickstarter up right now for a hard copy of Capers. Is that what it is?
Yes, it's a hard copy. It's all spiffed up, and it also has you will get an enamel pin with it as well. And I will be running. Pin. I know, and I will be running Capers at Gen Con.
Oh, very exciting!
So once that comes out, you follow me on Twitter, and you can check that out. I am also in a podcast called Runelanders Rapscallions.
Nice.
You should absolutely check that out. It's really fun. It's a sort of modern, what did we call it? Like techno-thaumaturgy kind of.
Interesting.
And I'm playing a necromancer. I love her. She's fantastic. She's one of my favorite characters. It's a little dark, but it's also very funny. So
right.
If you have that kind of humor, you'll love it.
Okay.
And I'm on the opposite of that. I'm on a family-friendly kids show, D&D show called The Brave and the Kobolds, which you can find.
So cute.
You can find on
so
YouTube.
Cute.
It has art and animation by our incredible DM, Penflower Inc.
Oh, okay.
So you can actually see little scenes animated with our cute little kobolds, and it's totally kid friendly. So if you have kids or younger people or older people who just want to see something cute and fun, that show them that because it's fantastic.
Very cool. Okay. Well, you know I'm all about family-friendly games. Like, I love them. So, because everybody comes in at different levels, and if it's available for all, then you don't have to worry about,
Exactly.
About not being inclusive, I guess is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah,
So that's great.
And it's fun, especially playing both, on either side, because I'm playing like a super bad guy on the one hand, and then on the other hand, you have to think about things in like a Saturday morning cartoon style where,
Very cool.
okay, I can't run in and just start stabbing people with my sword. So you have to get really creative about how you're going to resolve the problem without just like outright.
That actually reminds me a little bit of that campaign I ran actually over on Pro Restarter's channel, where they all played adolescent kids. And they had like I added an innocence bar, and so when they would do things that like the first time you kill someone, your innocence drops, those kinds of things, and it's part of like how the growing up process works. But so anyways, that's very cool. I have to check that out. I like that a lot. Plus the name is so stinking cute. I can't handle it. I can't handle it. Awesome. Well, thanks, Mad Fishmonger, for being here today, and more importantly for making sure that I remembered how to play Capers because it's been a while. So thank you.
And it's really is so easy to learn. I mean, there's some little details, but really the basics.
Yep, the basics are there. And honestly, the real problem is now that it's just like I need more time to play. I just need more time to play. Moving right along to somebody that is definitely not new to the dot lot that you will see around both the Discord and chat. PH, how are you?
That's me. Hi everybody. I'm Paladin Hulk. I'm a Twitch moderator for Random Tuesday and Little Red Dot. And you can find me again in a few hours playing on Uncanny Adventures, where I'm playing my pirate paladin, who's also a pirate, and he's trying to make friends with all the evil pirates, and sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't go so well, and that's when interesting things happen. We're in the middle of some conflict right now, so it's definitely worth checking out. And on Saturdays, I have joined Stalwart's channel, where we're showcasing DM's Guild content.
Okay.
Every week, which is interesting because
really cool.
I don't lean towards like all that pre-made stuff a lot, so this is interesting to see like how people are doing that these days, because I've had some bad experiences with pre-made content which was just real dull. So this so far has been really interesting. And I'm playing Joe Brown, cleric of the God of Knowledge, who has been eaten by a demon recently, and it wasn't fun at all. I got real dirty. I love that character a ton, so because I'm not, still have more stuff going on, busy.
Yeah.
Wednesdays are pre-taped Watchmen RPG using Blades in the Dark is airing on Tales from the Grim, which has been hell to schedule because it's a huge cast.
Oh,
basically
really?
Everyone is in there. It's like 12 people. I've lost count because it's a ton. It's 2 groups, and Greg assumed that people would be dying a lot, so it get narrowed down. But nope, we're all still alive so far.
Wow, that's my nightmare.
Yeah, it is. It's
It's a lot.
The current mission that we're going to be taping is Jane Fonda is about to die because she's a superhero now. That's how it goes.
I mean, isn't she?
Like, if she wasn't, that would be wrong.
Because we're on Cuba and we're trying to stop the nuclear missile that the Russians have placed there from killing everybody.
Oh, I see.
So far, we've killed a lot of Russians. Some by accident. And, things are getting real tense.
I love it. Well, also, we'll definitely check those out. That sounds like fun. I do love Greg over at and all those folk over at Tales from the Grim. I'm actually in a show over there myself, which I'll chat about in a second. Well, thanks, PH, for dropping by today and sharing your favorite character with us. That makes my
You're
my heart warm.
welcome. And it was awesome to actually get to game with you.
I know. Yeah, right. Next up, Anardovi, how are you? How did you like Capers for the first time?
I don't really like this one.
It's neat, isn't it? The card system's really neat.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm Anardovi on Twitch, on YouTube, on Twitter, everywhere. And on Mondays, I'm on the Uncanny Adventures 2. I need to check the name of the game.
It's okay. I said something the day. I said the name of a game, and somebody was like, "That's not the name of the game." And it was like a mixture of 2 or 3 things that I'm playing because clearly my brain never really knows where I am or what I'm doing. Oh, it was very funny. Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I'm in a game called Beneath the Burning Sun.
Oh yeah, Beneath the
It's,
Burning Sun. Okay.
It's a Call of Cthulhu game set in the Old West, and I'm playing the 15-year-old hooligan.
As all good Wild West towns deserve to have. Very cool. Where
And
else
that
can
show
we...
is also on Uncanny Adventures,
Yep.
which I also play.
Yeah, more Uncanny.
More hype.
I'm gonna have to go show Uncanny some love. They're not live right now, or we'd raid them.
And what else could I?
Yeah. What else? What else are you busy doing? If nothing else, tell us where they can find you online.
Well, I have been in hiatus for a long time on Twitch, but I hope to put that back up someday.
Yeah.
Soon. I guess I don't have anything else.
Hey, sounds to me like you're still very busy, and especially if you're just revving back up to get into Twitch. Well, thanks for coming out again today, Anarch. I know it's always nice to see you in Sunday Fun Days, and I'm glad you got to play a new game, learn a new game. So very cool. And Alyssa.
Hey.
Hey.
I had a lot of fun with this game today. Last week when you sent out all the information, I was like, okay, I guess I'm just gonna MacGyver a character because I had no idea what I was doing. And I was like, oh, MacGyver. I'm just gonna lean into that.
I love it. That's so cool. Hey, character inspiration comes from all kinds of places.
And it was really fun watching everybody else get into character and how we just all kind of came together. So I really enjoyed that.
Me too. You were quite a ragtag crew, that's for sure.
Yeah. But we pulled it off.
You
Is
did.
always,
You
it's
definitely
always
did.
more fun when you start out with like, oh, I don't know what we're doing. And you kind of it all just comes together and you make it work. So yeah, speaking of pirates and sci-fi, you can find me tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/otherdoc. I will be GMing a brand new campaign of Ghosts of Saltmarsh set in the Dark Matter campaign setting. It's called Ghosts of Saltmarsh, and we have our premiere tonight.
That's so interesting.
Wait, so it's Space Ghosts of Saltmarsh?
Yes.
Space Ghosts. Oh, I love it. That's very cool. And you said that's over on Other Doc's channel?
Yep, on Other
Another
Doc's
great
channel.
streamer.
Love him.
You can find me on Twitter at Origami Shuriken. I've got a pin to tweet up with all the info for the game and artwork of our characters, and I wrote a theme song. So you can find all that on my Twitter.
Easy. Definitely go check that out. That's very cool. I've always, theme songs are not something I'm at that point yet, but yeah, maybe one day. I think that's very cool that you get to write your own music. That's super neat. Well, gang, I'm Little Red Dot. If you pop by today, just know I really appreciate you coming to share your Sunday with me, and rolling some dice and telling some stories, and hopefully we made you laugh. We brought some joy to your afternoon. If you want to find out more about what I do, I am a GM and a digital storyteller. You can check me out here at any of the following links. Facebook, Insta, and Twitter are pretty much the solids. But throughout the week, there are a few other places that you can find me. You can always find me on the North by Northwest podcast, where I'm currently the GM. That is a D&D 5e podcast that I do with some local folk here out of Atlanta. You can check out on Wednesdays here on the channel. We are currently running 2284 Futuristical Flash, our Teens in Space campaign. If you need neon clothing, synths, and just solid retro fantastic space times, we've got it for you. I'm very excited about that campaign. And if you've been interested in Kids on Bikes, Teens in Space uses the Kids on Bikes base gameplay and game system, so you can come check out what that looks like if you were interested in signing up and wanted to see that dice play in action. That's 8 o'clock on Wednesdays. On Thursdays, you can check me out over on Unmade Gaming's channel, where I'm currently jamming a very dark sci-fi game using Coriolis called The Void. It's been a heck of a lot of fun. So if you want a more kind of serious overtone for your sci-fi, you can check us out there at 8 o'clock on Thursdays. And then, of course, every Saturday, you can find me at my home away from home over on Roll For It for Vampire the Masquerade. We're not Sounds of Silence anymore. We're the Silence of Shadows now. Oh, the Silence of Silence series is what I call it. You can come check us out for the second season. Things are getting tense between the coterie, so if you like some kindred drama, boy have we got it for you. So you can see me there, like I said, every Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then throughout the year we do a once a month Sunday Funday, and some more Sunday series are coming, so stay tuned. And I just want to thank everybody. If you dropped by, if you donated, and if you don't already follow the channel, just hit that little heart up there. That way you know when we go live next time, and you can be here for all of the storytelling fun. Yeah, I think that was all the big announcements. Oh, one more big announcement. I'm excited to officially announce live. I've done it to Patreon, but we'll do it here now. The next show coming to the Dot Lot, but after Dragon Age, will be a North Sea Epilogues campaign called Valkyries, and it's an all-women's Viking campaign that I'll be running with pretty much the entire Witch Girl crew. We're going to be exchanging one player, but it's going to be all the Witch Girls, so we're in the middle. Actually, Kika just messaged me about some things, so we're going to be bringing some Vikings to the table. Actually, I'm very excited for this. Where did it go? I was going to show it to you, but maybe I don't have it. Oh, here it is. It's hiding. North Sea Epilogues. Really cool game. If you love sailing, if you love Vikings, and if you love kind of the Viking lore and history, this game is amazing and does such a great job of not making it just about being a warrior. There are lots of other classes and things that you can do, and it's more about your clan and the role that you play in your clan in the storytelling. So this is going to be so much fun. So yeah, you'll see most of the Witch Girls crew, and we'll be adding Opera Geek to that crew as well. So I'm very excited to have her back on the channel. So yeah, stay tuned for that, and that will kick up near the end of February. More announcements to come. If you want to stay up to date and get the first access to everything from character art and trailers and announcements, first signups for Sunday Fundays, as well as the upcoming Incubator, if you want to submit for that first, make sure to join the Patreon. You can do so for as little as $2 a month, and you gain access to all kinds of stuff. More importantly, you also get to chat with the Dot Lot once a month on the Monday chats, where we just hang out and talk all kinds of crazy things. Actually, I need to schedule this one for January. We're coming up on the end. We may have two in February. Until then, I want to wish you guys all the best. I hope your Sunday is full of fun, and we're going to go raid and share our love with my home away from home. Oh, that's not what I wanted. That's an ad. I'll have to wait for the ad. I just clicked the wrong button. We're gonna raid roll for it.
It's / raid roll for it.
Well, they had this new dashboard that I'm trying to use, and the button right above raid channel is, which I already had typed in, is play ad. So I misclicked.
For yourself? Okay.
Yeah, it's like buttons, and it has one that says like play 1 minute ad, and then below it says raid channel, and I preset up who to raid, and you just click the button. It's supposed to auto raid, so I don't have to type anything in. I clicked the wrong button.
Oops.
Which is so funny. I was like, I play an ad and our viewer count goes up. So weird. I mean, fine if everybody wants to watch an ad. 12, 10, we're only the last 10 seconds. So the good news is the channel gets money every time I hit that button, which I don't do very often. It's funny.
I was like, why don't I see it? But it's probably like either because I'm a subscriber or because I have ad block on.
Probably.
It's one of those.
I'm not a subscriber right now on Twitch.
Okay,
and
here you got the ad. Yeah, that's probably why. All right, we're rating 16.
I didn't.
Oh, you didn't. Okay, good. Well, maybe it didn't get the ad. That would make me happy. Okay, rating now. We're good. Everyone's good to go. All right, and we will see you all later.
Okay.